He's back, and boy, ladies and gentlemen, he's got that Mamba mentality, and he's going to basically run it back. I mean, we're talking about comebacks in the world right now, and my post on Instagram, I used some music from somebody who's just made a comeback, and LL Cool J, and Anthony Steele may not quite be from Queens, but he's definitely going to run it back tonight and let us know what's going on and why he's going to be running it back here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. He's got a big announcement. He'll talk about that. But before I get into some bars and drop a few rhymes or two, let's formally introduce our guest, because this is a platform that he has helped build here. After all, we are in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage on our road to 1,000 subscribers. And ladies and gentlemen, over the past 18 or so months, this man has been at the premises of that. You think about some of the biggest shows in Sportswire radio history. He's been a part of them. Some of the biggest events that we've seen, Summer Bash, he was a huge component of that. Maybe some other future things. We're going to talk about that tonight. There could be a whole list of other things and other names on the agenda here. And before I get into some of those things to set the tables for us, boy, he does look different. And no, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't get a haircut. He did that because heaven forbid I get a haircut. Heaven forbid I shave my mutton chops. Although I should, because after all, I've had 9 different incidents in the past 3 months of either being harassed in the street or being yelled at in the street. So you want to talk about controversy? I've been monitoring it back home, but we're live on Sportswire Radio, and we'll drop some of those stuff off and bring some of these things on the table to set the tables for you tonight. No, I don't have a turntable in the background, but I'm going to talk about tonight. What does our guest think about what recent comments were made by another guy who's controversial, and maybe the second or third most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history? And that is none other than the headline Aaron Blaze. Who saw that one coming? And what about this little old event in Bremen, Ohio, which the last time our guest was here basically decided he was inviting himself? And I'm going to talk to him about that. But I'm also going to talk to him about a recent announcement for us on Sportswire Radio for a return of a man that some would say is the Hulk Hogan of the backyard wrestling circuit that our guest here has shared a locker room with. And boy, you want to talk about running it back on Sportswire Radio. I certainly hope we can be a little postmodern with what our guest tonight has to say about Friday's guest, which I am sure is going to blow the roof off like what tonight is going to be like. Plus, I'm going to talk to our guest tonight about what his thoughts were on the news about Jack Delta, the Jack Delta, unfortunately going on the sidelines because he now has a partially torn meniscus. And I'm certainly going to be talking about, well, James Taylor as always, because, James Taylor and Anthony Steele are always intertwined. And you can see our guest here once again sort of saying, maybe I should go to Silverwolf show instead, maybe go answer some of his questions. But I'll leave that at that for a different time. And I'll certainly be talking a lot about, well, the IMF. Our new home, but our former home of our guest, because he's back in the IMF. But something tells me that this time he isn't just going to be passing through. It's not just going to be a pit stop on the place to somewhere else. This could be his permanent home. And boy, is he going to have a lot to say. And I'm going to have an announcement actually related to the IMF here in a matter of a few minutes that might actually surprise some people, or who knows, whatever else. And I know that this chat is already popping, because it's now good to be finally back in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and not doing a Make-A-Wish episode, or not doing the, let's say, All Wrestling Matters and getting some on because we're All Wrestling Matters. No, we've got a man that you've grown up with on Sportswire Radio, a man that you're used to him dropping his own bars, and probably the only other person that gets mad when I get to speak on basically drop more, whatever else, who knows what I'm going to bring up. But it is good to have this man here. He is a multiple-time Hall of Famer. 3 times, as a matter of fact. He's a Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. And I have no doubt maybe a 4th could be in the works in a matter of minutes. I might actually have a clue for you as to why our guest could actually be a 4-time Hall of Famer. Boy, promoters in the backyard from the South to the North to the Midwest now really want this platform to be canceled. But that's not going to happen, not on my watch, until Zilla takes over Sportswire Radio. But it is time to give our guest, even though my voice is not what it used to be. Because after all, I have done 180 plus shows over the past 120 days. You thought Hogan worked hard back in the 80s. You thought Cena was Super Cena like. You thought Brett was working those 368 match shows a year. But this platform, I've done that and some. But it's time to give our guest that introduction as best as I can, that he's been accustomed to, you've been accustomed to watching. And thank you so much for joining me once again. It's good to be back. It's good to be back with the people, and it's good to be back with a guest that is definitely prime time. But I won't hold that haircut against him because we are, after all, living in a Steele era, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right to it and close the weekend off, and maybe some would say start the fall off in style. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one. Sports show. The man that is the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history. 3-time Sportzwire Radio Hall of Famer. A man that has been one of the greatest travelers in backyard and underground wrestling history. He's the newest member of the IMF roster. His name is, simply put, the Real Anthony Steele. Welcome home, my friend. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic, actually. Got some big news to drop. Not gonna say what yet, but got some things that potentially could be signed tonight.
I don't know what that is. If you've done your research, that's inside the rope. Was it beyond the ropes, inside the ropes? Is that still such a thing? But that's your research for that show. You're here with us. But how have you been? It's been a while. It's been a hot skip in a minute since you've been on Sportswire.
I've been all right. Getting everything ready to take over IMF.
Okay.
And I can finally say IMF is my home, my place, my domain. And if anyone, that includes you, Aaron Blaze, I heard what you said, wants a shot at the real deal, you know where to find me. It's not that hard. And trust me, I take all challengers, but I also put down every single fucking one of them. So,
he's back. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's already talking about challenges, dropping names. I mean, boy, you really want to talk about run it back. Don't call it a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. He really might have a mama said knock you out moment on Sportswire. That's for sure. He's doing it and doing it and doing it well. Anthony Steele.
I say I'm gonna start this day off with a big announcement for myself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's go with it.
So this is an announcement that one person knows.
I see.
So last night, me and a group of friends, we went out to a festival in Illinois, and saw some live performances. And for all y'all that like Jelly Roll, that like Adam Calhoun,
yes,
that like strange music, all that, your boy met up with Lil White.
Oh.
And me and him had a little conversation. And he has contracted me to have the privilege to have one of his licensed songs as my official theme song for the remainder of future. So I will be debuting the new theme song at IMF Ring of Champions. So when you hear me come out, just know they don't want no smoke, but I'm gonna give them to them.
Oh my God, Anthony Steele, you mean to tell us you have licensed music now? Licensed music. I didn't see
100%.
that one coming. That's for sure.
So, if y'all want to go check it out, the official theme song for Anthony Steele is "They Don't Want No Smoke" by Lil White and Adam Calhoun. It's off their newest album that is already dropped on Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere else that you want to stream your music on. Go check it out.
Give them, yes, Sportswire.
Give them a follow because it represents me so much, because a lot of people say they want to face Anthony Steele, but no one's really ready to face Anthony Steele. And I could tell that my opponent, or maybe opponents, due to these contracts that I have in my hand, which thank you, Mr. Dirty Donnie, for sending these over to me.
That was nice.
I could potentially be facing more than one opponent at Ring of Champions. So if y'all want to go check it out, People Don't Want No Smoke by Anthony Steele. And damn straight, I'm going to give every single person that's in the IMF locker room, that is associated with IMF, that is associated with Backyard Underground and professional wrestling, I want to give you all the smoke that I can give, and promise you that the real deal is going to put every single person on notice, because my rise to glory has just started, and your fall is only going to be done by the hands of myself.
Wow, Anthony Steele is, this is what a return to Sportswire and to Backyard Underground Wrestling. You've talked about, you've got licensed music, and now you've also got something you're going to sign in a little while related to your future in the IMF. And this is just unbelievable. And I know Soldier GP and Omen Black had a lot to say about your last appearance on Sportswire. A lot, though, in the wrestling world has changed, certainly, since then. Obviously, that is the case. And I guess we'll definitely talk about that in a few minutes. But I guess maybe I should start off in a different way, because it's obviously been the talk of the backyard wrestling world. And I know you don't work in that promotion, but I know you've obviously known a man that's also been a traveler like you. And obviously a lot of people have been talking about it. The news that was broke here on Sportswire Radio, that former ROEW champion Jack Delta, the outsider Jack Delta, has announced that he has had to have vacated that ROEW championship during a match he had with Soldier GP, a man that you now share a locker room with. Once again, the IMF, there was a match there, and unfortunately, Jack Delta was injured, and he has a partially torn meniscus. He is out of action indefinitely, and we don't know what his future will be. But I was wondering, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, what was your thoughts on Jack Delta having to vacate the ROEW championship due to a partially torn meniscus and his future and such?
Delta, I wish you a speedy recovery. That is one match I have looked forward to for the past couple of years. So Delta, I'm gonna let you know, I'm gonna follow your story. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna pick my opportune time to come to ROEW, because there's no man in ROEW that I want to face more than Jack Delta. You've been, I want to say, the poster boy of backyard wrestling for quite some time now. No one could talk about backyard and underground wrestling without Jack Delta's name being brought up. But that's where me and you are the same, because no one's going to bring up backyard and underground wrestling without the name of Anthony Steele. And one day, I hope to give the world what they want to see, what they know they're going to see, which is an instant fucking classic between the real deal Anthony Steele and broke boy Jack Delta. So, Delta, I wish you the best. I wish you a speedy recovery. I'm sorry that Big Soldier GP had to do you bogus like that, because of course, we all know Soldier has one thing in mind, and that's getting what he wants, or he throws a tantrum about it. So obviously he had
I think there was an accident in the match, Anthony. I don't think Soldier really threw any tantrums.
You call it accident, I call it a way that Soldier thinks he's going to get a one-up. So,
well, he didn't, because, the match actually ended because BYW came out, and also Big Man Cam, who doesn't work in ROEW, sort of.
Of course. Well, what I'm trying to say is this just gives it another chance to where Soldier can be like, oh well, technically I didn't lose the match, so now I can get a rematch. I can get another shot at the ROEW World Championship. See, because you're all about gold. You want to be Soldier 2 belts, right? So how do you feel? And I'll start it off with this. How do you feel, Mr. Soldier GP, that the first contract that I got in my hand from Dirty Donnie is a World Heavyweight Championship match against you at IMF?
What? Wait a minute.
First,
You have a
first,
contract for the IMF World Heavyweight
so
Championship? That's whoa.
so
Whoa.
Soldier, you understand what this represents, right? This represents the fall of you. This represents that if I sign this contract here tonight, that your time as world champion is up. But you see, I don't want to take shortcuts to the World Heavyweight Championship. So Soldier, take this as a one-time offer that I'm going to save your ass from the humiliation.
Wait a minute. You, of all people, Anthony Steele, the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history, declined a World Heavyweight Championship, especially with your history with Soldier GP, almost over 2 years, going back to the Nemesis sessions, going back to your first stint in the IMF, going back to you two sharing a locker room again in Bremen, Ohio, almost 3 months ago. You mean to tell me you just declined an opportunity for the World Heavyweight title?
I'm gonna earn it.
You did an opposite Craven Rage.
I'm gonna earn my World Championship opportunity. See, the way I look at it is right now, I'm gonna start where the lackeys of IMF is taking place, and that's in 2 other contracts that I have the choice of signing here tonight. And Soldier GP, while he be one of the biggest lackeys of all fucking time, because we know that Soldier GP definitely don't want no smoke from Anthony Steele. I'm not going to take the cheap route to win the world championship. When Anthony Steele wins the world championship, it's going to mean everything to Anthony Steele. It's going to mean everything to the IMF universe. It's going to mean everything to Sportswire Radio and everyone that watches me come here day in and day out. Is going to mean the world to me when I take that championship and become the face of IMF. So no, I'm not going to take that little road, that easy shot. Nah, I want to work for what I'm going to get. But like I said, there's still 2 contracts that I do have the.
Well, you must be one of the most coveted free agents in wrestling history. I didn't realize you had 3 contracts. I mean, I was thinking maybe 1 contract for like a contract to be in the IMF for like a 2-year deal or something like that with an option. But you mean to tell me you got a contract for 3 different matches? I mean, boy, you really want to talk about running it back. I mean, definitely, this is one that you've come in here with a force.
And talking about forces.
Yes.
Forces to be reckoned with.
Yes, sir.
There's I want to finally talk about this.
Okay.
There's a supposed force of the backyard and underground wrestling. Some people call him the headline.
Yes.
I call him the most egotistical man I've ever met in my life. And that is Mr. Aaron Blaze. See, Aaron, there's one thing that me and you do got in common. We both got egos, but we know that you shove yours so far up your ass, dude. Everyone smells the bullshit that comes out your mouth. And you, of all people, wanting to run it with Anthony fucking Steele, homie. What are you, like 5'3", 5'4", 110 pounds soaking wet? Dude, I am 6'4", 277 pounds of pure fucking greatness. See, I'm not the same people that you're used to facing. I'm a dude that knows what he's doing in that ring. I'm a dude that knows how to handle people like you. And Aaron Blades, if you want a match with the real deal, again, you know where to find me. Hit up Dirty Donnie, hit up IMF. We will figure out a time and a place, and I will knock your head straight off your fucking shoulders. And I will make sure that Aaron Blaze will become a headline for a week. And the headline is going to read, Aaron Blaze falls at the hands of Anthony fucking Steele. The match that everyone wanted, but no one really wanted to see, for the simple fact they don't want to see you get humiliated. Your boy Anthony Aries don't. Your boy ATK don't, because they know what I'm capable of. They know what I do.
Anymore, though. He's not boys with ATK and Anthony Aries. He's not in the Nexus, and he's not boys with ATK.
My bad. I'm sorry, but you're dick riders.
He basically went there and did what everybody else does, wins the consolation participation trophy, and in 2 months he'll probably be future endeavored. I mean, I got that. I got you on that. But
Look,
yeah,
all I know is I don't care who you run with. I don't care who you talk to. I don't care what group you're a part of. I don't care what company that you want to fucking say you're with for that month. Aaron Blaze, if you want me, there's one place you can have me, and that is inside IMF. I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to get a hold of. And I trust me, our time will come.
oh my god!
And I will show you. I will show you that match that you had with
What about
Division Nick.
I thought you were humble these days. You didn't. I thought you were humble. You've turned a new leaf.
Hey,
you got a haircut. You're back where you
listen,
belong in
I'm
Midwest.
still a humble guy. I'm just gotta. At this point, I gotta let people know. I gotta let people know what they're actually dealing with, because a lot of people wanted to make me a joke. Since I was trying to be nice, I was trying to be humble, I was trying to be forgiving to certain people.
Mm.
That time is done. That time is up. And Aaron Blaze, you thought the match you had with Division Nick was bad. You barely escaped him. Dude, I'm the one that's beaten Division Nick not once, but twice. Twice. Once in under, what, a minute and a half? Homie.
But what were you
me
saying
and you-
about Aaron Blaze being egotistical? What inclined you to say that he's egotistical? What would you be?
He calls himself the headline. The
He's been
headline
the
of
head. I
what?
mean, look at UWA. They just had maybe their most successful show. They had the best looking video they've had. I mean, they had a show a lot of people praised. I mean, a lot of people feel that was Aaron Blaze's lead, his headline skills there. He turned UWA into a company people say, I want to talk about them now. I mean, that's a good job.
Congratulations, Blaze. It doesn't matter what you do anywhere else. What matters is what you do inside the ring with me. I'm not like everybody else. I've proved it day in and day out. When I step foot in companies, I make my mark. I make my statement. The same thing's going to happen to you. And the egotistical part, you call yourself the headline.
He does.
You want to be a headliner so fucking bad, you have to give yourself that moniker. See, the difference between me and you is I am a headline, but I'm also the real deal. And that's just not a moniker that I've given myself. That's a moniker that I've lived and I've breathed day in and fucking day out, because I keep it 100. And I'm keeping it 100 with you, Aaron. Do I like you? You're cool, dude. I ain't got no problem with you. But do I got a problem with you calling me out? Yeah.
You do?
Because it's a match that I'll give you, but it's not the match that you actually truly want. This ain't 2017, 2018, 2019 Anthony Steele. This isn't the guy that was running his mouth to people and calling them out just because. This is a guy that has traveled to many places, put my hands on many different fucking men.
Some would say I have the best Claymore in backyard underground wrestling history. Some would say it's, Drew McIntyre level.
Everyone knows.
We do.
I am one of the best to ever grace Sportzwire screen, the backyard scene, the underground scene, and soon to be when I get more contracts up here.
Do you feel you're a bigger draw on Sportswire than Aaron Blaze?
Oh, I'm 100% a bigger draw.
He's been big. His viewership's been going up on Sportswire, though. His viewership, he's
going up. Mine stayed up. I don't got to go up. I'm already there. See, the one thing I've proven multiple times on this platform is when I go through your previous lives, a lot of them that you see at the top with the most views have my face on them.
Well, there's one man I'm going to get to in about 10 minutes, though, that does have a similar viewership to you, who's making, a rare appearance returning to Sportswire. I'm going to get to him in about 10 minutes. But, Aaron Blaze, though, he's been successful he's created his own company, YBW, almost 1,500 subs on YouTube. He just wrestled Jack Delta. I mean, you can no longer call him the big fish in a small pond. You can no longer call him that. He has shown now what he's done in UWA. People are now talking about actually wanting to watch UWA now. People have now talked about what he's done in ROEW, his work there. I mean, I think Aaron Blaze now has shown that he's definitely worthy. And you know what? It's also, he speaks his mind like you do. Maybe it's a lot of similarities between you two. Think about his time, his career in the yard, your career in the yard. I mean, there's a lot of similarities. You both have had problems with TBW. You both have had loads of problems in XCW. I mean, you guys basically, really, if you think about it, I know him and Mr. Delta, there's the whole thing there, the storyline. But if you think about it, your career and his career, I mean, it really is a neck and neck between who is the most controversial. You might have the title because you've been in the big ponds. You've been in TBW and you've had big success there. You've been in the other company that you worked for down south, had some big success there, just wrestled Gabe Sayers and James Taylor. You've been here, and some would say you helped build the IMF. You were certainly in XCW in Indiana. Your time there, a lot of people would say, would be a lot more successful. So there's no question you have been a big fish in bigger ponds. But it seems to me like you and him, your careers, they're almost identical in the sense.
And see, that's the reason why I'm okay with him calling me out.
You are.
I'm okay with him. See, let the record be known. This is where I'll be humble a little bit. I'll say by 2019.
Yes, sir.
Anthony Steele called out some people, and the two people that he called out was Jack Delta and Aaron Blaze.
Big names.
And again, y'all said get your name out there, get bigger, start traveling, do your thing, and then we could talk. That's what I've done. That's what I've continued to do, Blaze. I've put my name out there. I've gotten bigger. I've gotten better. And now it's time. It's time for the headline and the real deal to show the world what we can do.
Do you feel?
Like I said, I'm not knocking the challenge.
Okay, go ahead. What would you like to add to it? Because I have a follow-up to that. He had another follow-up, but what would you else like to add to that?
I'm not going to knock the challenge. But my thing is, it needs to be right place, right time, Blaze.
But it
doesn't need to be
in Palo, right? That's where you want that match to happen, in Palo, right?
It can happen in Palo. It can happen in Lafayette, Tennessee.
He doesn't work there, though. He works for the rival.
It could happen in Shelbyville, Indiana, a place you have been.
Don't work there, though.
It could happen in Bremen, Ohio.
Now that's an interesting point you made. Now that actually is interesting because you announced basically putting a pipe bomb that I don't think anybody expected, that you actually are a part of the Backyard Havoc. You basically announced yourself. So that's actually a place I think that could happen, would be in Bremen, Ohio, November 9th to November 10th, the Backyard Havoc, an event that's actually an event I created.
I mean, Blaze, if you want, we can hit up some people. If you want to show up to Backyard Havoc, cool. We could do it there. But see, my thing is, I wasn't thinking Backyard Havoc.
Right.
As you saw this year, Anthony Steele's in multiple matches at a certain event that also took place in Bremen, Ohio.
Did see that. Yes, I did.
Anthony Steele was one of the biggest parts of said event.
Yes, you were.
And Blaze, I'm gonna give you some time. I'm gonna give you a lot of time, actually.
Give him time.
I'll lay out the challenge. I'll lay out the play.
You could actually have it in YBW, his own promotion, YBW. If you wanted to travel to Pennsylvania, he does have his own promotion, which is very successful.
Hey, the only reason why I'm going to travel to Pennsylvania is to go try a fucking cheesesteak. That's the only reason why I want to go to Pennsylvania. But we'll get that on another note. No, Blaze, you want it? I'll give it to you.
You'll give it to him.
Summer Bash, 2025. You have time to think. You have time to save up. You have time to understand what you are getting yourself into. Choice is yours, buddy. Or as Tom would say, be there or be square.
I do say that all the time.
Or I'd no name said pull up or shut up.
Who is that again? Let's move on.
See, Blaze, I don't have a problem with you, and I know you don't have a problem with me. But we gotta do this. It's time overdue. I'm okay with it. I'm okay for making them wait just a little bit longer to feed into this.
But why not in Bremen on November 9th to November 10th? You already confirmed. Why not then now?
I got bigger, better plans for Backyard Havoc.
You have bigger plans. But he's a big name, Aaron Blaze. I mean, he just wrestled some big names recently. C-Money, Jack Delta, Chase Sullivan, Jake Howell. I mean, he's got Dominic coming up next week. I mean, he's got big names he's been in the ring with recently. I mean,
Backyard Havoc is, I love it. I do.
You know,
but Backyard Havoc is not a place for Aaron Blaze versus Anthony Steele.
Why not? Why not?
I'll say this, even though I don't know much about it, but Backyard Havoc does have a chance of having Anthony Steele versus Rad Dad.
Who?
If he wants it.
You say that louder for the audience?
Anthony Steele versus Rad Dad.
Oh, yeah,
I think that would be a great match to have at Backyard Havoc. So, just saying, just putting that.
That would be something that I think a lot of people would be really interested in if that were be to the case. I don't know enough to comment on if that'll happen. I mean, people would want to see that, but you and Aaron Blaze could happen now. It could happen. He lives close to Bremen.
Hey, look, I mean, it is what it is. It is what he wants it to be. I say, let him wait a little bit longer. Let the story build a little bit bigger. Blaze, what do you say?
Well, he Anthony says Steele? That there's no issues with you other than this one bigger guys like you don't believe I can outsmart or outclass guys like you. It's pretty funny.
Whoa. Okay. So here's the thing. Can you put that comment back up?
Yes, I can. I also think it's funny that I actually have more people watching on YouTube Live than the viewers I had my pre-show to you. That's kind of funny, right? It's kind of sad in a sense, but funny.
Bigger guys like me don't believe you can outsmart, outclass. I'm not going to knock your talent. I'm not. I've talked to people that's been in the ring with you, and they said it was a pretty fun experience. I'm not going to knock you. I'm not going to degrade your in-ring capabilities. But what I'm saying is, it's not about what you've done everywhere else. It's not about what you've done to other guys. Because other guys aren't me. It's about what you think you can do when you step in the ring with me, and what I know I can do when I step in the ring with you.
But James Taylor's wrestled you. James Taylor's like the same height as Aaron Blaze. I mean, the legendary James Taylor's done it.
The difference is James has like what, 40 years on Aaron Blaze?
Are you saying that James Taylor is like the Ric Flair of the yard and age? Is that what you're trying to
James Taylor's old. That's just it. James Taylor's old. He's old news. He's old man.
He's an old head. He's an old head. Did you watch my match?
But Blaze, we'll figure it out. My DMs are open. But I want to get to do what?
You answer those DMs, right? For people like Aaron Blaze, if he DMs you, would he be able to get an answer from you?
Oh yeah, my DMs are open. Yeah. But the next thing I want to go over.
Yes, because there's a lot to talk. I know there's a lot of people in the chat, and we do say hello to you. But Anthony's basically holding court tonight, as he is basically having a roundtable discussion with himself. But go ahead.
The second contract that I have in mind.
All right, let's go with that. We'll come back to some other things. That second contract. Where do we got?
With I'm gonna have to decline this You
No
do.
contract?
I
Who's
do.
advising you?
I
I
have
thought
to.
I
I have
advised
to
you a
decline.
month ago on legal advice. I'm a notary in real life. You want me to notarize the document? I mean, I've got my
I just.
stamp right in front of me.
I don't. I don't want to do this without somebody, and that
Okay.
person knows who he is. Because here I have a contract from Dirty that grants me a tag team championship match.
Ooh, you know what? That we're getting unified titles for the tags. I mean, we've got multiple tag championships. They're being unified coming up here this Saturday. That's a great match for
And
you. You and Justin Parsley. A lot of people have been talking about that. That's a good
exactly.
idea.
That's the reason why I'm not going to sign this contract. Because partially, it's sad that you can't be there, and there's no other man that I want to stand beside me to win those unified tag team championships. So one day that will come, Mr. Parsley.
Very
And
nice of
trust
you
me,
finding that.
Midwest Express ain't ready for fucking the real deal. So Midwest Express, have fun with your fucking lackeys of the tag team division, and do what you gotta
Fox
fucking do.
McCoy's a part of that, though. He's bound in blood, though.
No, you could be bound in blood, and you could be bound in dog shit. That don't fucking change the fact that the real
I was
deals are the
British
most popular
Bulldog
tag
and Wrestling
team
the Rock
in
was
backyard
dog.
wrestling.
Okay, fair enough.
But see, I'm just gonna cut to the chase, and I'm going to announce the contract that I am going to sign. Because
Okay.
this contract, I believe, is going to be the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
to mark what I've been saying is true.
Okay.
Because Foundation, I told you I'm gonna knock your weak links off.
Right.
I'm going to knock the heads off of the people that don't matter. So that way, when I get to the ones that kind of do, there ain't gonna be no one around to stop me.
Okay.
And I'll read it off.
And by the way, I do have my stamp with me in case you need the stamp.
There, I'm gonna read off what this contract states before I address the actual.
Okay,
match.
and I can legally help you, advise you on this one because I do have a legal background. So let's hear it for the audience.
It says the champion will have no choice but to defend it against you without question or will face immediate consequences.
Okay.
Once
Yes,
this
that's
contract
correct.
is signed, you will not have another opportunity to sign any of the other contracts put forth in front of you today.
You declined those two other contracts already. One of them you crumbled. So by law, you've already voided those chances. You avoided them on air.
So choose wisely on your decision because there's no going back, and may the odds forever be in your favor.
Okay.
And the start of this contract, Dirty, you actually know how to spell. I'm surprised. It says, I, Dirty, hereby grant you a United States title match. You grant me a United States title match wherever and whenever I want.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Repeat that again. United States?
The United States Championship. And
now,
Jovi.
That's Sean Jovi, America's resident rock star, and Isaiah Rage. They're in that match. I thought you were friends with Isaiah Rage.
See, Isaiah, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it loud. I'm gonna say it proud. This has nothing against you. This has nothing to do with you. It's just lately you ain't been able to get the job done. You got it done at Summer Bash.
He did.
And then you kind of fell off and you got the title taken from you back to Sean Jovi. So now
it sounds to me like Anthony Steele is signing a contract for the United States Championship live on Sportzwire Radio, and that would be against Isaiah Rage and Sean Jovi, America's resident rock star. So you're that mystery opponent that we've all been wondering about, and including America's resident rock star Sean Jovi most recently on the IMF YouTube channel and his YouTube channel. So Anthony Steele, you're in that match. It's locked, it's set, it's signed, sealed, and you're a part of Ring of Champions for the U.S. title.
100%. And see, when I got handed these contracts, about a week ago.
Okay.
And I looked at this one the most
This one. Why was that though? Sean Jovi, I thought you were friends with him.
because Jovi, if there's one thing that you have to understand, I'm a big fan of yours. I am, but I'm not a big fan that that you sided with the wrong side. That you sided with Soldier GP, you sided with Omen Black, you signed with the fucking foundation.
He did.
And the resident rock star of the backyard and underground needs to understand the actions has consequences.
They do.
Because at Summer Bash, you tried to save your good old friend Darkfire when he was getting his ass lit up in that corner, and then you yourself found out really quickly. Once you put your hands on Anthony Steele will put his hands back on you.
Mm.
And that's why I've been looking at this contract the most, Jovi. It's not because of Isaiah Rage. It's not because of that U.S. championship. It's because of you. It's
so he is somebody you despise because you talked about basically lackeys. Are you saying that Sean Jovi is a lackey of the foundation? Is that what you're telling me?
Sean Jovi is going to be remembered as the guy in the foundation that when Anthony Steele makes his fucking return, that he can't beat him. See, because here's the thing. Here's the best thing, Jovi.
Yes, sir.
Is I don't even have to pin you to take everything away from you. I don't have to tap you out to take everything away from you. And Isaiah, if it comes down to me versus you, the job is what the job is. And the job is to take that championship home with me.
I'm floored. I got to be honest. I didn't think that you were coming here with an announcement toward any of these things. I mean, you against Soldier GP, a man that you had history with for nearly 2 years. You then declined a tag team championship match, which obviously would have been very fascinating because you probably could have walked in and took that championship without even trying, considering some of the teams in there. And then you now all of a sudden won a match, States championship, and Sean Jovi's the champion, a man that people seem to be beloved when they think of, and yet you kind of did in some way insinuate that he's a part of this foundation group and he needs to be knocked down a bit.
See, I've said it multiple times. My thing, the reason why I'm at IMF is to take down the foundation. And because Parsley is not there.
On Sportswire, you were upset with the foundation. You seem to be upset with them, but I didn't realize that Sean Jovi you were upset at.
The man made his choice. Or as my dad would say, he made his bed. Now I'm going to make him lay in it. And when you lay in that bed, Jovi, remember, after September 28th, you're going to lay in that bed with no title, and I'm going to have that bitch like Shawn Michaels around my fucking waist.
Oh, my goodness. America's resident rock star, Sean Jovi. And by the way, Sean Jovi's here Tuesday night. He's here to induct Tim Mecca, the legendary Wisconsin backyard legend, God rest his soul, into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And he's got his own problems right now. Maybe you've got Sean Jovi at the right time because he's got trampoliners from Illinois, your home state, that want to put nails in the coffin to him and his own lackeys. His own lackeys and Darkfire and Nicholas Crenson. A man, I mean, you beat Nicholas Crenson in what, 2 seconds? I mean, it was really 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, super
like
quick.
What? I mean, like what? 10 seconds? 10 seconds.
Whatever.
See, that's another reason why I didn't want to sign that tag.
I mean, right now, Sean Jovi, he doesn't even know if he's going to have a promotion after these trampoliners want to trampoline on the dinosaurs of the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit. I thought it was the foundation that was going to put the nail in the coffin last year at WC, but it sounds like it's Tyler Fury, Nolan Money McDermott, Dalton the Executioner, and Peyton the Pacemaker. They want to do that rather than what Soldier and Omen wanted to do last year. And maybe Jovi's got too much on his mind. He already lost one championship there in Wisconsin, and now He could lose his company, and before that, lose being America's resident rock star in the United States Championship. I mean, you might have Sean Jovi at the right time.
I know I got Jovi at the right time.
You do.
And if you want, I would love you to bring up his latest comment. Because I would love to address
water
it
for a
live.
second. Okay, let me do
You
that
do.
here. Yes, he's here Tuesday
So-
and Thursday. He's here Tuesday and Thursday, by the way. If you haven't gotten enough of Sean Jovi, you're getting him twice. And I know everybody in the chat, I promise you I'm going to get to you. And I still have an announcement I actually had, which was, I think, a lot more kinder than yours. See you next weekend, Steele. You'll see why I'm your resident rock star, and you'll fall to the mat with a bed of roses. You might need to keep the faith there, or else you'll be living in sin, apparently.
See, Jovi, that's where you got it all wrong. Is right now you're in the worst situation of your life.
He is in a bad situation right now. He is in a bad situation. I agree with you on that, actually. It's a good point.
You were up against two members of the Sinners. You're up against two members of the Sinners that have all to gain and nothing to lose. Well, on my end, I should say. I have nothing to fucking lose. I can't speak about Mr. Isaiah Rage. But you got to understand, man. Not many people can say that when I step into a company, they beat me.
That's a good point.
See, Omen Black can say that.
He can.
Jordan Nets can't.
That's true, too.
Nicholas Crimson can't.
Well,
and here's the best thing. Here's one thing I'll basically say. I can name the guys that have beat me when I debuted. Let's talk about Beast from TBW.
He was here about 6 or 7 weeks ago talking about TBW's record ratings.
Beast was the first person to pin Anthony Steele inside TBW.
Good point.
If you want to count it, Omen Black technically did, but that was the second match of my night.
He did
second match in one day.
He did get that big win.
And you didn't pin me. You got a 10 count. But thinking back, it's only two people. There's two people, Jovi, that can say that they have pinned or made Anthony Steele lose when he shows up somewhere.
But he's motivated. He might be motivated after hearing this right now. He might be motivated now because you've basically laid out the cards. You've basically told him what you want to do to him. Now, Jovi's a veteran. I agree with you in some senses. He's not Aaron Blaze because Jovi's a legend. He's been in this game longer than you. He's the one guy you may have faced, who's actually got more matches than you. I mean, we love James, but I don't know. Has James have more matches than you in the yard officially? But Jovi does by a lot. He does by a lot. Jovi goes back to the Global Backyard Wrestling Network. I mean, Jovi's been around the block. So by telling a veteran like Jovi what you're basically about to try to do to him next weekend, that gives him plenty of time to prepare.
That's where I gotta say you're wrong. It's not try.
Okay.
It's what I will successfully do. Jovi, I know you're here. I know you're listening.
He is
so
definitely
please understand this. It's not what I want to do. It's what is going to happen next Saturday, September 28th, in Palo, Iowa, at Ring of Champions. I'm going to fold you like an omelet, and I'm going to make sure that you go home titleless from IMF.
And then just weeks after that, he could be, companyless because he'll be out of his big contract in WCE. I mean, I have to ask you very quickly on that. I mean, you're from Illinois. I mean, what's your thoughts on this whole war between Jovi's company and those trampoliners from Kewanee, Illinois, including one you're sharing a locker room with now, Tyler Fury, who's going to be on the show coming up here this Saturday at Ring of Champions? I mean, what's your opinion on that? Is WCE about to be having a nail in the coffin? What's your thoughts on this situation?
I mean, Jovi, like I said, I'm a fan of yours. I'll give you props. You're trying to save something that's been riddled with wrestling asbestos.
But they're improving right now. Viewership is up right now. Subscriptions are up. WC's got some momentum for the first time in a long time right now. There seems to be like some momentum in WCE.
The way I look at it is this. When you lose to me at Ring of Champions, and if you walk into WCE and lose there, you might have to understand and really think, was this the best choice that you had? Was this your best chance at showing the world what the Resident Rockstar is really about? See, because I'm stating the facts, man. I've been at the highest of highs. I've been at the lowest of lows. I've held companies on my fucking back multiple times.
NGJPW, what you did in XCW, what you did in TBW. You were down south just now, and I mean, you were doing your best to certainly help that company there. And now you some would say you helped build the IMF, and now you're back here in the IMF. And I mean, this is just, I mean, maybe you are the lethal dose of injection that the Midwest needed. I mean, but it sounds to me like you then think that WC is going to have the nail in the coffin then coming up next month. That's what you think, huh? No comment.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'll say yes and no for the simple fact that Jovi, I'm gonna give you wise words of wisdom. You right now are the saving grace of WCE.
Yes.
And I believe that.
Yes, we agree.
So what you do when those guys try to come to your spot, you need to make sure that they don't do what I'm about to.
Oh my God! Anthony Steele has basically said that he is going to do to Sean Jovi what the trampoliners, the youth of the backyard, the young whippersnappers are going to do to WCE in 5.5 weeks from now. It seems like the beginning of the end for Sean Jovi and his own lackeys is going to start this Saturday in the Palo Community Center. Ring of Champions, a sold-out venue already. Tickets are limited. You have to go to the IMF websites on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because this is the only way you're going to see what could be the end of Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, America's resident rock star, America's vlogger, America's cat dad, America's U.S. champion, could very well be seeing the end of his career in the yard, because Anthony Steele, the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history, the real deal, now wants to take what's most prized to Sean Jovi's career, the United States Championship, and take Sean Jovi from being, a foundation member to, being a member who's going to be in a coffin in a matter of weeks. Anthony Steele, you are certainly somebody that you live up to those things. And boy, I don't even know. Maybe if I'm Jovi, Fire, and Crenson, do I show up? Do you want Jovi to show up this Saturday? You sure?
Oh, 100%. I don't want Jovi to show up. I need Jovi to show up. Because it would mean nothing to me for me to just sign that contract and Jovi, you chicken out like a Craven Rage. It would mean nothing to me if you would chicken out like a person that will not be named.
Oh, okay. I do.
It'd mean nothing for me to sit here and take everything that you have going for you and you not even be the one to get a lethal dosage of that.
The lethal dose. This is a lethal dose of injection that has been injected into the IMF. I mean, Dirty Donnie gave Anthony Steele a contract, and Anthony Steele has signed that contract. This Saturday, the Palo Community Center, he is going to be wrestling for the United States Championship in a triple threat match, which also involves Isaiah Rage, former U.S. champion, and America's resident rock star, Sean Jovi, Anthony Steele, the real deal, the most controversial figure in the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit, makes his return to the ring for the first time in 2 months. The only place you can watch Anthony Steele going forward in the ring right now is the IMF. The only place. Can't be anywhere else. Well, can't be down south, can't be up north, can't be east, can't be west, can't be anywhere else. It's only in the IMF. And Anthony Steele, I mean, I thought this was going to be a celebratory show because this is the start of Celebration Week on Sportswire. We have a slew of celebrations. You were supposed to have been a big celebration. The evil angel Judas is here tomorrow night to go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Sean Jovi is here with us. It was supposed to be a celebratory show to induct Tim Mecca, Wisconsin backyard wrestling legend in the Hall of Fame, but it seems like Mr. Jovi might be preparing for his own funeral a little earlier. And then Thursday, we have all of your brethren in the IMF, and, well, that's important because I think it's a good time to make my own announcement, because if I don't, we'll never get to it, that I want to make 2 announcements on behalf of the IMF, because, we've been talking a lot about Hall of Fames and different things. Friday, we inducted ROEW into the Hall of Fame, but for those that are listening and watching here, in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, a platform that the IMF helped build, we are going to induct the IMF company as a whole into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So congratulations to everybody in the entire Rock locker room. We congratulate you, Anthony Steele. You're now a 4-time Hall of Famer. We congratulate Omen Black, Soldier GP, Il Drago, Isaiah Rage, Sean Jovi once again, Nicholas Crenson, Darkfire, the Midwest Express, Tyler Fury even. I mean, everybody gets Levi McDaniel, Dirty Donnie, the Sinners, Justin Parsley, by the way, 6-time Hall of Famer now, technically 7-time. And I'm not done because there's something else I want to announce about the IMF is that not only am I donating a ticket to the IMF, not only am I donating 2 tickets to the show coming up this Saturday, I'm donating 3 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, 3 tickets. You want to go watch wrestling? You want to bring your girlfriend? You want to bring your family? You want to go watch Ring of Champions? You can go on me, yours truly, the only man who truly has the big bucks, the only man who truly puts his money where his mouth is. 3 tickets on me. You want to go and watch the show? You want to watch all these matches? Anthony Steele's return to the ring, the Foundation are in action. You want to watch those tag titles on the line? Everything else that the IMF has got to the table? On me. 3 tickets. We know right now it's a sold-out show. We know that there's very limited tickets that are available. But I'm going to make sure if you want to go and watch that show, Ring of Champions, 3 tickets on me. IMF goes into the Hall of Fame. You find me somebody else that does that for wrestling. You find me. Anybody in the chat want to let me know? Want to give me an answer? Fitz McMahon ain't doing that. He's worried about being on Netflix. Tony Khan, he can't even get the Jaguars on the right side of things. Court Bauer, he's busy suing people all the time. You find me a promoter. You find me an owner, a podcaster, streamer, Johnny Come Lately, new kid on the block, whoever it is that does what we do on Sportswire. Congratulations to everybody in the IMF, and congratulations to those 3 lucky people who are going to get a chance to go to Saturday's sold-out show in the beautiful Palo Community Center.
Trust me, I already got people that are buying tickets to see me return, so it's already it's already in the book for that.
I mean, I'm donating the tickets. I mean, I don't think you can tell me not to donate them. I think that would be good for you, Anthony. Right? Good for business, right?
Hey, look, more people get to see the demise of Sean Jovi and Isaiah Rage. Like I said,
wait a minute. But you said you were a sinner with Isaiah Rage. Why would you want to have a demise for him? You just want him to lose. You don't want to demise him. Sean Jovi, you seem like you want to demise him.
That might be a member of the Sinners. That's a dude in my way.
Okay. So basically, nothing personal with him.
The smoke too.
Nothing personal with him.
No, nothing personal. It's never been personal. It's just you get in my way. It's time to fuck around and find out.
I tell you what, I do want to find all of that, but there's one more person from Celebration Week that we have on Sportswire that I did want to ask your opinion on, because I know you could give me an answer on this one, and I know you know this man. I know that for some people, he might be a name that you can't mention in different places, or if you mention his name, it certainly gets quite a reaction. But I was wondering, because I think you'll be tuning into this one on your way to the Palo Community Center Friday night, 10 o'clock. A man that is considered to be the Hulk Hogan of the backyard wrestling circuit, maybe the greatest champion in the history of our circuit. A man that was champion, never lost his championship. That is the legendary Mr. Anniversary himself, Ledger Shade. Mr. Ledger, the Shade himself, is back on Prime Time, a platform he helped build. And I was wondering what you thought about that, because Ledger's got his own movie. You know, everybody's talking about the big box office movies right now, Beetlejuice and Alien Romulus, and everybody talked about Bad Boys this summer. Everybody talked about Deadpool. But Ledger's got his own box office movie that's coming to Sportswire 10 o'clock Eastern time. It's the Ledger Anthology, 18 chapters, and we're going to watch that movie with the front row seat. I'm going to be in my own IMAX-like chair with the legendary Ledger Shade coming up here Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And Anthony Steele, I know you would have no problem telling us live on Sportswire what your thoughts are of Ledger Shade coming back to Sportswire and celebrating him and his movie that everybody I know is going to be joining me in watching with a keen vested interest in.
Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back to a show that I helped build.
But he's big up there in the viewership.
Welcome back.
He helped this platform big time.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna knock him. I've told many people. I respect Ledger. I have no issues with Ledger.
God bless Ledger out there, brother. We love Ledger on Sportswire. God bless him.
And hey, Ledger, you ever want to run it back? IMF, Iowa. Let it be known.
Well, he hasn't into his future plans. We're just watching the movie. I mean, I think that's his plans. I'm
laying it out right now. Like, I don't need him to address anything. I need him to understand. I take on all challengers. Me and you had a run, a little run against each other in TBW. I showed you that you got speed, but I got strength, and your speed sometimes got your little ass caught up. But Ledger, much respect to you. All respect to you.
God bless Ledger. God bless Ledger.
100%. And Ledger, I'll tune in. Friday night.
You tune in.
Tune in Thursday when I can go face to face with Isaiah Rage. When I can go face to face with Jovi live on Sportswire. Which Jovi, by the way, hey Jovi, I know you're still in the comments. So here in a little bit, if you ain't got nothing to do, you can hop your little tail on here. And we can have a sneak peek of what's going to happen on Thursday.
That's very kind of you. Are you sure you want to do that? This is your celebration.
100%.
Wow, Anthony Steele. I mean, you are certainly the gift that keeps giving. But Ledger Shade back on Friday. I mean, that's going to be one I hope people tune into, because we got a lot of people here right now, and I know you're going to be joining me with you and everybody else to watch Ledger Shade's return to Sportswire, and that Ledger Shade movie, arguably the biggest box office movie in backyard wrestling history. We're going to get a chance to watch that anthology of Ledger Shade, and boy, does Ledger have a lot to say. But I think his future is promoting the movie. He's got a lot to do with that movie. It's been something that really is never seen before in backyard wrestling history, and it's just really something we're so honored that Ledger has chosen to come back to Sportswire, because really he's a man that is obviously so busy in the world. And I know that just for him to be here, it takes a lot. And he is really our Hulk Hogan of our generation. And it is so good to have Ledger back where he belongs on Sportswire.
100%. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to Ledger?
See, Ledger, much love, my guy. Like I said, all respect to you. I hope we get to tangle it up again. I really do.
What do you think about that? I mean, I think he's promoting the movie. I think he's been very focused on this movie, working on it. He's obviously been doing what every great director.
I'll buy a ticket for that movie. What are you talking about? I'll buy a ticket.
You don't have.
I already got the popcorn.
You don't have to buy a ticket, because we're using my big bucks to make sure it's for free. That's what we do for the people at Sportswire. We do that very nice, right?
You hear that, Ledger? I got connections in high places. You know?
Well, that's why we're very happy to have Ledger back on Sportswire, where he belongs. And if you're here right now, hit the sub button for our friends in the IMF, because they're actually almost to 2,100 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm almost there. And I'd like you to help me get that. But I think it's time to say hello to the chat, because the chat has been waiting over an hour to speak to you. You've had a big turnout today. I think literally you had more viewers live right now than my show last Monday to kick things off, in my show earlier today. But that's no shade on my guess. It's just you claimed it, Make-A-Wish. I just say it's all wrestling matters. But maybe it's both. Who knows? But we love, obviously, Caden Gallows. We love the Psychotic Freak, and they're going to be back on Sportswire. But until then, Anthony Steele is back where he belongs, in a platform he helped build. But let's definitely run it back with the chat. People like comebacks. LL Cool J's made a comeback. He was on the MTV Music Awards. If that's such a thing, Ledger Shade's back on Sportswire Friday. You're back on Sportswire. People seem to like comebacks. That's what I've learned. People want to see what's most memorable. I think right now, this week on Sportswire is going to be a week of, well, it's time to be back what you used to see on Sportswire. You're going to get that this week. You're here tomorrow. Judas is here. Who's become almost kind of like the younger version of you. Sean Jovi's here Tuesday. Your brethren and Palo are here Thursday. Ledger's here Friday. I think people now, it's time for them to give the familiar faces, the names that you've gotten a chance to grow up with on Sportswire. They're all going to be here, and I think it's good to start Celebration Week. Let's get to the chat because they're so sick of hearing my voice throughout the show. Ox McCoy, who's just getting over COVID, you're going to meet him once again coming up here on Saturday, Sunday Night Sportswire.
Him for the first time.
Well, you're meeting him here in the chat. Well, you met him before, but in the chat. Hi to Ox McCoy. Yes, we love Ox. Hopefully, Ox is doing better because he just went through COVID. And definitely we'll make sure that we run it back with the chat. Sean Jovi says hello, but that was a long time ago. So Ox says you look like Clark Kent.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I'll be your Superman in IMF, homeboy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, obviously, you guys are going to be friends, it seems like. You have a friend of yours would like to say Anthony Steele with a bunch of emojis. You have a friend that would like to say hello.
Yes. She has already purchased a ticket to watch Anthony Steele in action live on September 28th in Palo, Iowa. So
I thought you were going to give James Taylor a ticket.
James Taylor showing up to Palo, Iowa.
I mean, they did mention him. Zilla likes your haircut. Do you know that Zilla actually showed her face on Instagram last week? Did you hear about this?
No, I did not. Now I gotta see this.
Zilla's a real thing. She showed up on Jack Delta's Instagram, and she really is a big wrestling fan. She's real. She exists, and she's really devoted. I have to say, Anthony, I have to disappoint you because I actually want to retire from sports where I let Zilla take over. And a lot of people in the chat on Friday's show with Jack Delta and ROEW, because that was a show where people did tune in. And obviously, they were looking forward to that one, like as much as they were looking forward to you. People seem to be enthusiastic about Zilla taking over. So Zilla's thinking about that. So maybe I'll move on and let Zilla take over. You'll meet Zilla every week on Sportswire. You said
Zilla. You said Zilla showed her face?
She showed her face on Instagram last Saturday on Jack Delta's Instagram Live and on Big Man Cam's Instagram Live. That's up to Jack Delta.
Did they save it?
I don't know that answer. You can ask Jack Delta and Big Man Cam. But looking good, by the way. One of your friends says looking good. No man bun. I'm not doing a man bun. There's no man bun. I am who I am, and people can say whatever they want in the street and yell. I'm not going anywhere till I go in the coffin. But that's a different show for a different time. Hi to Tom Bryce again. Thank you. You have a friend that would like to say good evening, Tom, but we'll say hello. What do you think of Judas, by the way? Judas is here tomorrow to join you in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you're going to be meeting him in Bremen. What's your opinion of the evil angel Judas? Seems to be a younger version of you. He draws a big crowd. He has no problem calling out veterans. He's certainly got a lot of problems with Darkron and others. And, I mean, what do you think of this guy, Judas, the evil angel?
He's a smart man because he ain't called out me yet. So,
well, you don't work in his promotion. You're in Illinois. He's in Ohio.
That's a hop, skip, and a jump.
I think he's got a problem with Darkron. Do you think that's a fair thing for him to have a problem with Darkron?
I'm a really good friend of Darkron. So also shout out my boy Kron. Much love, my boy, and hopefully we can tangle it up. I would really love that.
But Judas wants to basically put the nail in the coffin to Darkron. He wants to do that before you get a chance.
I don't think he's going to achieve that, but that's another topic.
And he's got problems with Big Man Cam too, by the way.
Have fun, buddy. Have fun.
Well, that's Silver Wolf's show. But yes, Judas is definitely a guy. I think people are going to tune into his show on Monday because he draws a lot of people like you now. He's a big draw.
I might have to show up on Silver Wolf's podcast, maybe get him some views like I've been doing tonight. I don't think
he's been around, actually. I mean, Big Man Cam is probably on there right now, probably co-hosting with him. I'm sure Big Man Cam can give us an update. Let's move on to the chat. Aaron Blaze said hello a long time ago. Let's see what people say since. Management of the IMF is here. That was a long time ago. Your friend would like to say yes. Talk it. Yes, you did. And congrats to you, Anthony Steele. Tell him. Darkron does want to say hello.
She was with me last night when I met Lil White. So
That's very kind of you to bring friends of yours. That's very, very kind of you.
it's more like they were like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Sure, I don't mind."
What a very nice individual you are. Good on you. And hello, ladies, from the lady, your friend. Evening, fellas. The big Kronbowski here. That's a good line there. I don't think he looks like him, but and Darkron will also be in the Hall of Fame with the IMF because he wrestled in the IMF. Another Hall of Fame appearance for Darkron. I don't know what OPE means, but I do know OPP. But that's an old reference. Yes, if you ain't. You know me. I'm OPP. But speaking of people, Justin Parsley, who's here, would like to give some emoji. Yes, good old Justin Parsley, the fearless leader of the Sinners. I don't know about what the reference was there. Sean Jovi did say once upon a time you were scared of Soulja. Are you scared of Soulja? Are you scared of Soulja?
Never.
Why not?
No.
Not after what Soulja said on YouTube a couple weeks ago.
I'll pull his dreads out of his
But
head.
do you
Don't play
think
with
that
me.
Soulja had a point though about your runs in XCW and TBW and Resurrection? Do you think that was a point that he made a point on that you've been in XCW and we know what happened there. Although to be fair, I think most outsiders don't have much luck in XCW. TBW, was certainly a rather sanctimoniously breakup. And Resurrection, I mean, I don't even think you can mention the name without them getting all mad, and that didn't work out there for you. I mean, so is he supposed to right or wrong?
Look, I'm all about pissing people off. Resurrection hates me because they ain't me. TBW.
I don't know what TBW.
We got some things.
And you were in UWA. I mean, you were there too. I mean, that was Aaron Blaze UWA run.
See, the thing that he wants to go over is how a lot of people don't like how real I am. So they kick me out so that way they don't have to deal with it. Because no one, like I said, wants to hear the truth anymore. But what he's not talking about is how I trailblazed a lot of the shit that has transpired. He's not talking about how when I showed up in XCW, that technically that title that ATK is holding, I never lost. The title that Big Man Cam had, I never lost.
Jack Delta
no one pinned me for that championship.
Jack Delta had it as well.
When I went to TBW, I beat Atomic Titan while Atomic Titan was world champion.
That's true.
I pinned Russell Cooper, the former world heavyweight champion.
James Taylor, you pinned also.
I've beaten James Taylor. I've beaten what?
Jackson Law.
By disqualification, I've beaten Drake Golddragon. I've beaten Neff of Resurrection.
You beat Xavier Thorne, the legendary Xavier Thorne.
Yeah, I beat the dog shit out of Xavier Thorne.
And Xavier Thorne, by the way, wants to come back onto Sportswire.
Have fun with that.
Do you think the viewership will be just as big?
I teamed up with two individuals to beat the Chaos Society and Resurrection back in the good old days.
Yes,
I've beaten. Let's see, what's some other names? Jordan Nets from y'all's company.
Nicholas Crenson, you beat.
Too
mid for you? Is he too mid for you? That's the definition of mid in the backyard.
He's not even mid. Y'all made a smart decision not putting him in the foundation.
An early Hunter Halkin? Didn't you beat an early Hunter Halkin? DJ Walbert, you beat? DJ Walbert?
I've beaten DJ Walbert. I beat Miano Diaz, the former world champion.
Former world champion.
I've beaten Hayden Vex of XCW.
Biggest beard I've ever seen in backyard wrestling history. Now you should see his beard. It's like, oh my goodness.
Dude, like I've beaten Evan Phoenix.
He's one half of the tag team champions now.
I beat DJ Walbert not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. See, Soulja. It's you said something in that video that I'm gonna reply to.
You did?
And that is you talked about what has just transpired in my life. Kudos to you to keeping track of what is about to come into your company. But what you failed to realize is one bitch down, another bitch comes up. And that's exactly What I plan to do at IMF is knock all the bitches down, and then it's going to be your turn. It is going to be your fall in IMF. And when Soldier GP falls to Anthony Steele, I don't know how you're going to recover from that.
Well, right now he's focused on Jason Storm at the moment. He's focused on Jason Storm. So,
I listen. Also, Jason,
you guys should be okay, right?
perfect. That's all I gotta say.
What do you think though? Now, what do you think though about his hatred of pizza? What do you think on that? No comment.
Who?
Jason Storm hates pizza. Jason Storm hates pizza. It's an ROEW thing. I'll move on. You're a busy man.
They're not all 10s. They're not all 10s. I'll say that.
Yep, and you're going to be there the right way. I think she's talking about you, Anthony. That's your friend, your very good friend. Yes, we're wishing Jack Delta a speedy recovery. We love Jack Delta, and we are praying for him, and we just hope for the best. I know Copper Dragon gave us some very good insights and motivation on that. Ox McCoy would like to say, shish, I don't remember what that was about, but we'll do that. Soldier GP is back. The popular monster would like to say this. Steele, you can talk all you want. Me and you both know the real reason why you passed on facing me, laughing my ass off. And like you said, believe me, our time will come, and you will meet the popular monster.
And you'll meet the real deal.
I can't wait.
Soldier.
You two in a locker room again? Boy, I can't wait for that one. Speaking of people I can't wait for, that's going to be here on October 6th. Chase Wakefield is in the house. Chase Wakefield is here. He would like to say good evening, gentlemen. Chase was obviously, some would say, was a Nostradamus once upon a time on Sportswire, but we'll leave that at that. But yeah, we'll leave that at that. We love Chase. We're very happy to have him on. And by the way, he's here right before my birthday. Why is that important, Anthony? Because on October 7th, I would hope that you join me, because anybody can come on Sportswire and roast me on my birthday. Well, I won't have 1,000 subscribers yet, but you can come on to Sportswire. Everybody's welcome. You want to celebrate my birthday, or maybe not. Maybe you don't want to celebrate, because considering today's show I did earlier before, I don't know if anybody really wants to tune in sometimes. So, but it's a joke. I'm kidding. But my birthday is October 7th, and we'll keep the floor open from 9 p.m. Eastern time. How does that sound to everybody? So if you're free, Anthony Steele, you can come on here and either wish me happy birthday or want to give me a Claymore. Either one or the other, right? Let's move on. We're having fun on Sportswire because we're running it back. And been here. I think she's talking about Sean Jovi and Soldier GP, but I'll move on. Okay, an old comment from Aaron Blaze here. Okay, Mr. Real Deal, pot calling the kettle black, but yeah, we are very similar in a handful of ways, but I ain't scared of you, brother. Also to be here, you're here 8 times more than me. That's true. Aaron's just catching up on appearance, and his viewership is going up, though. His viewership is going up. The good news is
you can't say pot calling the kettle black. When I told him, I straight up said, I know I got an ego. I mean, I've built my career around my ego. What are you talking about? You can't be the real deal without the ego. That's an attachment that will never be lost. As I've said multiple times, no one loves Anthony Steele like Anthony Steele loves Anthony Steele. So, but also, no one can be Anthony Steele like Anthony Steele is Anthony.
But some would say there's only one Aaron Blaze, though.
And they can be. See, there's a lot of people that's trying to mimic me. There's a lot of people that probably try to mimic Aaron Blaze. See, that's true too. Imitations is a serious form of flattery.
ATK is doing that in XCW. I think ATK is doing that. I think Anthony Arias and ATK are probably talking about that right now.
Have fun with that, buddy. I mean,
no shade.
Dude, if you want to be a copycat,
I'm not shading them. I'm just saying that there was only one Aaron Blaze and only one Anthony Steele. That was just my point.
Right. See, that's true. There's only one me. There's only one you. That's why it's going to mean so much when
would you like
me
to
and
see
you collide.
Aaron Blaze? Would you like to see Aaron Blaze in TBW?
Yeah, I would.
You would. Do you think that Aaron Blaze has something to prove by showing up to TBW? He's the one big name that hasn't gone there. Do you think there's something to prove there on that or no?
Something to prove?
By going to, because he has not gone to, he's the one big name that hasn't gone to TBW. I mean, a random question. I don't know anything about anything. I don't know what the future holds. I know he's very successful in UWA, but I mean, TBW is right now the mothership. It's a company you helped grow. I mean, almost 8,000 subscribers. I mean, I would think that there has to be, look, it's like going to WWE, right? AJ Styles eventually had to go to WWE. I mean, eventually people have to go to WWE to test their skills. I mean, Nick Aldis went to WWE, albeit in a general manager role. I mean, but there are people that say, you know what, I have to test my skills in WWE to see if I can go. Dusty Rhodes, once upon a time, had to show up in WWE. I mean, the NWO showed up in WWE. I don't know why they did, but they did. I mean, in wrestling history, there's littered names of people that have to show up to WWE to see if they can prove they can make it. And Aaron Blaze is this draw. He's been this huge draw, some would say, and he's not done it in TBW. But does he have something to prove by going to TBW, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, I don't think he has something to prove. I just think that Aaron Blaze in TBW would be a interesting thing to see.
But IMF is really where he should really show up, though, right? That's kind of where you 100%. Think, because you were in that locker room. See, in TBW, you don't work there. So, but you would would you invite him to have his locker next to yours?
100%.
Could you imagine that? Would you guys both need a dressing room of your own? Was that what we were a demand? Or I don't think I should give ideas to management, right?
I mean, of course, no one wants to see, two controversial figures siding with each other.
Between you two and Justin Parsley, I mean, my goodness. I mean,
but I'll say this, as soon as you show up somewhere that I'm at, Blaze, if you're ever in the same place with me, I better be the first person you walk up to.
I just couldn't imagine that you, Parsley, and Blaze. Now, I know Parsley and Blaze worked together for a little while, but the three of you together, that might be like a Hiroshima. That's like a World War III type of nuclear there. I mean, the three of you, gentlemen.
Hey, never say never. All right.
Maybe that's where Aaron Blaze should go. IMF. I don't know about TBW. He's in UWA. We have CJ coming on here next Sunday, by the way. I don't know if you'll be tuned into that one. CJ, he was the UWA champion. He's maskless now. He's
awesome, man.
He's in your chair next Sunday.
I love CJ. I love CJ. Me and him are really cool, really good friends. No hatred to CJ at all.
Okay, so you might. Who knows? Maybe you'll tune in. Hello, Zilla. My friends from JWR Wrestling say controversial with question marks, but that was a long time ago, so I don't know what the reference was. Come back to us.
The controversial one.
Oh, Kato?
No, he ain't got nothing on me.
Kato's doing the hardcore thing. I mean, that's they dumped Jimmy Controversy in dirty water,
and I'm doing the wrestling thing.
We'll move on. Hey. We'll move on. Steele's stock on the rise. Yes, the stock market's up, and so is Anthony Steele. That's true. UWA is in Lafayette. Yes, they're like 15, 20 minutes away. That's why they're rival competitors.
I've been in both places.
Blaze versus Steele would feed families, according to Judas. A man who is, again, an objective, neutral observer, who's got his own problems with Darkrai, objectively did say it would feed families. Do you think it would feed families drawing power-wise? I mean, could you imagine you and Aaron Blaze on Sportswire together one day? That would actually probably, it might rival Ledger on Friday. That would probably rival Ledger for sure.
Hey. There's a lot of open air and opportunity.
That would probably, I'll tell you what, that would rival Ledger. I mean, Ledger's obviously Ledger. And, by the way, Ledger's here Friday. Please tune in. You will not want to miss that. The Claymore is an awesome and amazing, cool finisher. I think we've got this comment. By the way, a man that was supposed to be here, but he'll have to reschedule, was D'Angelo Flame yesterday. And D'Angelo got some new attire in the promotion you worked for. Shout out to him. Anything, are you allowed to say anything to D'Angelo right now? Are you contractually allowed?
What's up, D'Angelo?
You're contractually allowed to say hello. You're contractually allowed to say hello to D'Angelo. Because I didn't know what your IMF deal
I do what
was.
I want.
Okay, so I didn't realize your IMF deal. I thought maybe you had like a no compete clause or a no wrestler mention clause from the company you used to work for. Hello, Zilla. Yes, and Dark Cron had a funny joke. Damn, still hating on old folk now. Us geezers must unite, Cron.
I'm not hating on old folks. I'm hating on James Taylor.
Well, where is James Taylor? But that's okay. We love James. James was here Friday, actually, so that's good enough. The Samoan Dragon, Il Drago is here, but you guys are on different sides.
Our day will come.
They'll come.
Our day will
Maybe you
come.
think he'll see the light and be a sinner?
Hopefully.
No,
Hopefully.
Steele's the mystery opponent. We answered that already a long time ago. Thank you for that. I don't know what the reference is for that. Yes, thank you for signing the contract. We really appreciate that. I'll put that on TikTok. It'll go viral. I'm getting big on TikTok, by the way. But yes, I don't know what you won something. I think there you go. Malozilla. Speaking of people, the one and only Drake Golddragon's in the house. He's the champion from the promotion he used to work for. But he says, "What's up?"
What's up, Drake?
Are you allowed to say hello to him?
What's up, world champ?
And also, D'Angelo, by the way, is the All Wrestling Matters World Underground Champion still. Is that a championship belt you would like to claim one day?
What, the All Wrestling Matters?
He's the champion of it. Yes, he's the champion. Would that be a championship you'd like to claim?
Hey, how about this? How about this, D'Angelo? When I win the IMF United States Championship, title for title, you pull up the All Wrestling Matters.
Do you think he would be contractually able to do that? Would he be able to do that contractually?
All Wrestling Matters world title is all come, right? Anyone that wants one, anyone that wants a shot can have it. I want a shot.
So you would want
a fair shot. I want a fair shot.
But that would have to be in a venue that would be somewhere like, I don't know, in maybe Iowa as an example, right? A fair venue for you, right? A fair venue. Because we know that Mr. LaFlame, I believe, is contractually obligated one day to come back to Iowa. Okay.
And I hope he does.
Well, I would love to see him in the IMF. I don't know when that'll be. That's a question we'll ask him when he comes back to Sportswire. We got that already. Got that in. Wow, your big moment, and you wasted it. You're saying the same stuff the last person said about the foundation. Good job, kid. You're going far. Laughing my ass off.
Hey, look. Last time, did someone say that they're going to take a championship from the foundation? Because if they did, then I'm going to be the person that actually does it.
Okay. Well, Jason Storm technically does hold whatever variation of the DKW or the ROBW Midwestern Championship, and he sort of won a title, but it's a convoluted scenario. Jovi does not have to be pinned to lose the title. That's a good point. Thank you, management, for pointing that out here. A lot of people are fired up tonight. They were waiting for this. Anthony, I think people were waiting for this one. People were waiting for a show that we haven't had in a while. Well, Friday's show was actually about that. That was kind of what Fridays was, but we haven't had much of those. We've been giving new people an opportunity, but now you're back to claim the throne of a platform you've helped build. Zilla stands with the sinners, by the way. Zilla's on Team Steele.
Good choice, Zilla. I knew I was a fan.
But Omen Black is not a fan of you, by the way. Not a fan. He still won.
Have fun. It's okay. They hate me because they ain't me.
Well, we'll find out. It is his show after all, his platform. I'm rooting for the real deal Anthony Steele against Sean Jovi and Isaiah Rage. Jack Spade, I know a man you wrestled in a promotion before, obviously returned yesterday in a promotion that you used to work for. Did say, you return when I leave and you leave when I return. Sounds to me like you were scared. Would you like to comment? Or are you not contractually able to comment on that?
Never scared of Jack Spade. Never have been, never will be. But you know where to find me. You can find me in Palo, Iowa at IMF. I mean, if you ever want to travel, that's fine by me. I take on all comers. So.
I'm sure IMF would welcome Jack. I know Justin Parsley actually wants to do a Jack Spade episode with me, actually with Justin Parsley praising Jack Spade. So, I mean, that might be coming to a Sportswire show in the next couple of weeks there. Sorry about that. I almost choked on my own burp. But, yeah, I mean, people seem to like Jack Spade. And he won yesterday, defeated a man that you've had quite a history with. But I'm sure you were focused on the big show you were at. But we'll move on. Hi to the icon Jack Spade. He out here for real. Yeah, thank you for that, letting us know. We appreciate that. And your fan is a friend, whatever else says a lot of more things we'll say. Appreciate that, Uso. Means a lot to me. We love Il Drago. And congratulations to the IMF. Oh, I think he's saying about the Hall of Fame. Yes, we appreciate that. Yes, we love IMF on Sportswire, and we definitely want to honor them. And we will do that Thursday night. I think we're here at 9:30 Eastern time. I think some management will tell me, but I'm pretty sure it's 9:30 is our usual spot. Period with exclamation points. You see, Steele knows Judas may be a big mouth, but your mouth may write a check your ass can't cash.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I'll let you continue to smoke. By the way, Zilla wants to show I respect her face to you. Wants to show her face to you as respect. I don't
There
know
you go.
if you know him, but his name is Ace Reed. He's from Australia. He wants to travel. He's also done the Wired Up podcast. I don't remember if you were on there. A bunch of guys, peers of yours, have been on there. Aaron Blaze, Jack Delta, CJ Black, Jason Storm. But he wants to travel to America. He's got almost $1,600 of his own money. He's coming to America. And I believe a couple of the promotions he mentioned is one of them that you work for now in the IMF. Would you like to see Ace Reed and wrestle an Australian? Would you like to see that?
I take on all challengers. It doesn't matter if you're from the UK, the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Come on, and I will knock you down.
Okay.
But also,
yes.
If you want, who runs the Wired Up podcast?
Well, it used to be
he
Ace Reed. No, he doesn't do it anymore because unfortunately he used to do it. It's months ago. I'm the only real podcast out there, a streamer out there, because the other shows, let's be honest, do you really go for a hard-hitting interview on Dark Den? When you go to Dark Den, are you expecting like hard-hitting analysis? Are you expecting like a real interview? Or
No.
Big Man Cam, though, apparently is still waiting for
Big Man Cam's a troll. He's a troll, and I love him. I love Big Man Cam.
Big Man Cam. Good old Big Man Cam. Speaking of people from the great state of California, my friend Mr. Trifko. How you doing, my friend Trifko? Where have you been on Sportswire? I hope you come back onto the show. Let me get to some more comments because there's still some more I got to get through. I will say much respect to you, Steele. Definitely a fan of your work. I know who I'm putting my money on that United States Championship match. So, and by the way, Judas is the ALW World Champion. He defeated one old man already, and he wants to defeat another old man in Bremen. That's Darkron, and he's rooting for you on Saturday, Judas.
Smart man.
And Judas, by the way, I want to give him some credit because you know what Judas does? Judas, when he comes onto Sportswire, he comes here in a suit and tie. Isn't that very classy of him? Very, very respectful, Judas. Maybe he could be the one that will help at the funeral of WCE if those trampolines, because dress up in a suit and tie. That's what they do in a funeral. They dress the body up and get ready to be a pallbearer. Would you want to be a pallbearer for the coffin of WCE or no? No, why not? We're having a lot of fun on Sportswire, as you can see. It's good to be back.
Why would I?
Yes.
Why would I carry a casket for a company that I might help destroy?
Because that would be the respectful way. That would be the humble, the new Anthony. Because remember, you've changed. Remember, this is a new Anthony Steele. This is a new Anthony. A new haircut. You've been more humble.
Look, I'll carry Jovi's casket when he loses that title.
We'll move on here. Your friend would like to say she'll be there. And D'Angelo Flame, I believe, gives his endorsement for maybe a match for that championship.
Time will tell, D'Angelo. Time will tell. And when that time comes, so will the fall of D'Angelo LaFlame.
Really? You think he'll fall?
To me, yeah.
What do you think? I have a question for you. As we're here with Anthony Steele, the legendary Anthony Steele, soon to be 4-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, because now he's the newest member of the IMF roster. The IMF is going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Plus, we'll have coverage of Ring of Champions. Also, I am donating 3 tickets to Thursday's show. You find me somebody else that'll do that for you. Nobody will do that. I guarantee you that. Mark my words. But I am the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you are here on Sportswire, there's a lot of people here out there. Please tell your friends to hit the sub button for me so I can get to 1,000 subscribers. I've been on this road to 1,000 subscribers longer than Cody Rhodes was chasing the world championship at this point. So get me a little closer. I'm about 81 away or so, and we'll have Anthony Steele roast me on Sportswire, and he'll take over Sportswire, and I'm sure his friend will be happy and other people will be happy. But my birthday is October 7th. It's 2 weeks from Tuesday. No, 2 weeks from tomorrow. And you're welcome to join me in celebrating my birthday and roasting me. And I'm sure if you're out here in the chat, come on down. I'll give you a few minutes and you can make fun of me, and it'll be a great day. But I do want to ask you this question. Guys like Aaron Blaze, guys like D'Angelo, who've been travelers. Now, you have been a traveler. I mean, do you think that maybe it's a lot of pressure for them to continue to do what you've been doing for years? And do you feel, everybody talks about Jack Delta and, following his footsteps, but you've been right there with Mr. Delta. Do you feel that guys like LaFlame and Blaze also owe you some gratitude, or do you feel that you're not owed anything? What do you think about that? Because again, Omen and Soldier were travelers because of you. I mean, some would say that. Justin Parsley's been a traveler. Some would say even. I mean, all these travelers now. Maybe do you feel that you don't get enough credit on being recognized as a traveling wrestler?
Look, I mean, if they want to look at me as a traveling wrestler, cool. If they don't, it is what it is.
But you have traveled. I mean,
I've made my
XCW,
mark.
TBW, Resurrection, IMF. You have traveled. I mean, you have been a traveling wrestler.
I've
NGJPW.
made my mark.
Yes.
I've made my mark in places. And I can 100% say that no man can knock what I've done. And what I'm going to continue to do. And when that day comes that they're going to have to realize that Anthony Steele is one of the most well-rounded talent in wrestling today. And a lot of those people that want to hate on me, that want to, knock me for their personal indifferences with me, when I make it, when WWE hands me that contract and I sign the WWE contract instead of an IMF contract,
you and Isaiah Rage,
y'all can buy
WWE contracts. You and Isaiah Rage both.
Y'all can buy merchandise with my face on it, with my name on it, with everything that has to do with me. And that's the moment that I'm gonna love. That's the moment that I'm going to cherish the most, is watching myself succeed and watching everyone that's like, oh, he ain't gonna make it. His attitude's horrible. He has a shitty mouth. He doesn't want to follow the rules. Homie, rules were made to be broken, and I've broken many fucking rules, and I've broken many fucking barriers. And trust and believe, I'm not done yet, and I will surpass a lot of these people out here. And when I do, I 100% guarantee a lot of them are going to be the first people in line for a handout.
Let me ask you, though, this question. Okay, you're back in IMF. Soldier made a good point in his calling out of you. He mentioned me, and it's fine because we're sticking to wrestling on Sportswire as hard as we can, and we're honoring the IMF on Thursday, and I think that a lot of people feel it's long overdue, and I think donating 3 tickets will be, I think, a big win for the community. We've been trying to take this new approach on Sportswire, Anthony, the last couple of months, and I think it has really worked. I know some people are going to say, well, it's good to have you back. Ledger's back. And, we've brought the big guns in because this is the final week of the third quarter. If you want to, because it's the new season on Sportswire, all that, fun stuff there. But, there is a point to be made that you've been in the IMF before. This didn't work out. You've been in these other places. Why will it be different this time in the IMF? Because, again, you were just in Resurrection. You were just there down south. And we know what happened there. Now, obviously, unfortunate circumstances. I agree. But you've been in other places before. What do you think will be different this time in Palo?
See, the difference is my time in Resurrection is I set out to do 2 things, and those 2 things were accomplished.
Good point.
And I no longer saw a need to be there.
Understood.
There's no reason for me to be there. IMF, I have goals. I have things that I'm setting myself out to do inside IMF. And once I achieve those goals, I'll have this chance to make the decision if I want to stay or if I want to move on to something.
But some could say that you're making a permanent home in IMF, that could maybe put to bed a lot of things that people have said, UWA, XCW, TBW. These are places you didn't have long stints. The most recent stint in Resurrection was not a long stint there at all. I mean, objectively speaking, maybe by having a long run in the IMF, that could put to bed what a lot of people think about you. In some ways, Psycho Sid had just died, right? And he was a guy that would kind of bounce back and forth between WWF, WCW, ECW. It would be like the merry-go-round. And that's kind of, in a way, been your career in the backyard circuit. You've kind of bounced away around, round we go, merry-go-round, round we go. But you're back in the IMF. You're in the backyard havoc. I'm going to talk about that next. I mean, maybe there is something that you could have maybe to motivate yourself to kind of put the haters to the side and say, you know what? I have a long, fruitful run in the IMF. Continue to grow the IMF. The IMF's going into another venue coming up in November. They're here Thursday, going into the Hall of Fame. There's renewed interest in the IMF right now. I think the IMF is about to have maybe their best run yet. And maybe, in a way, this could be something that could say, you know what, by me having a long stint in the IMF, that puts to bed this kind of merry-go-round I've had in my career of all these feds I've been in. Don't you think?
Oh, 100%. See, I don't plan on leaving IMF anytime soon.
That's good to hear.
I plan on showing the fuck out any chance that I get. And with the IMF, like I see opportunities. I see opponents that I would love to have a dream match with. I see potential feuds. To name a few, I would love me versus Drago. Me versus Felix. I would love to face Felix.
Just wrestled CJ Black on RWW TV on Friday. What a heck of a match that was.
Me versus Soldier. Me and Omen running it back. Shit. Me versus Dirty Donnie, the dude that gave me this contract. Homie, I know you're still a competitor, and I would love to tie it up and show you why you made the right decision to bring me in, but what is the worst decision for the foundation.
How about you and Nicholas Crenton running back again? You and Nicholas Crenton could run it.
I don't think he wants those problems, because then I can turn 10 seconds into 5. I mean,
well, maybe he's motivated and wants to go in 10 minutes and pull a winner. I don't know. You and Jordan Nets again, maybe.
I mean, there eventually will be able to run it back, 100%. And when that happens, it's going to be another banger. He is evolved.
How about you and Freddie Daniels? That'd be interesting if the history.
Hey, Freddie, how's your face feeling?
I was going there next, but you stole my line. That's why you should really host Sportswire and take over the platform. But okay, so I think that could, because you know what? Ledger's here Friday, and he had this legendary run in TBW. You haven't quite had that long run, and maybe this could finally be where you put, you know what? No more talk about Anthony going and being in one place for 2 months or 3 months, having a home in IMF for a while, and doing some big things to help the IMF continue to grow, continue to go to heights that makes it one of the premier places that everybody wants to travel to. I mean, Ledger had this historical run. Jack Delta was on that run. He was on that chart, I think, to be Ledger, and unfortunately the injury kind of short-tailed that a little bit. But I think you have an opportunity to be somewhere for a long time, like Ledger was. Ledger grew TBW from when you were there, 2,000 subs to 6,100 or 6,200 when he left the company. I mean, you have a chance. IMF's at almost 2,100, just at the same point Ledger was when he had the magical run. You can help the IMF by working with all these great people and putting the IMF to 3,000 and 4,000 and 5,000, where we could run it back and maybe have a full force and get to be postmodern and maybe put in all that stuff there where Anthony Steele's finally a guy who's not just a controversial figure, but now who's a big draw, not just on Sportswire, but in a place like the IMF to help them grow.
Most definitely. The way I look at it is, again, it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity to showcase my talent with future competitors. Another name that I just thought of, Ox.
Well, he's a sitter.
You got to run it. We got friendly battles, man. Friendly battles.
I don't think Justin wants friendly battles with his own group. I don't think that he wants that right now, Justin.
Hey, look. What better way to showcase talent than to fight with the people you stand beside?
But you guys have to together for a reason to fight the foundation. I mean, it's not going to be easy to be. Not gonna be easy.
Hey, look, you saw how easy it was to make the foundation fold before. I
Well, I mean,
mean,
there's definitely
that's the
been some
difference
cracks,
between.
but I mean, they're obviously now motivated. I mean, they hear the footsteps and they're gonna obviously fight. And Jovi's fighting for the foundation. You know, Soldier ain't going out easily. Omen's obviously Omen. You know, he's Omen, and I mean, they've got Il Drago now, so I mean, they're gonna keep fighting. I mean, so it's gonna be a war. This is gonna be a real war.
As Ox McCoy just said, a gentleman's exhibition.
That's if well,
That's
I
what we
mean,
need.
I guess Mr. Parsley's okay with that. I would suppose. I do want to say hello to Miranda Turner. What a tool! I don't know who Miranda Turner is, but hello. Do you know who Miranda Turner
Hey,
is? Or
thank you, Miranda. Thank you for that comment. Thank you for tuning in. It is an honor to have you tune in to Sportswire Radio with your host, the Reverend Tom Bryce of Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, and your boy, the real deal Anthony Steele. Thank you so very much for giving your time to be here and continue watching. There's more to come. So thank you.
is there anything in particular else that we should know about, or we should just move on? I would imagine that has something to do with the previous promotion you worked with. That a fair statement?
Hey, look. Views are views. That's how I put this. Views are views.
I
Thank you
see.
for tuning in.
Okay. Well, obviously, we appreciate that. I don't know enough about people's business to comment on that. I don't know the reasons why you were no longer in your other promotion that you left it, other than the fact that you said you had a couple of things to accomplish and, you left. I mean, that's all. I don't know enough about it to make an objective comment, other than you told us that you had a couple of targets and you left Resurrection and you've moved on to the IMF. So I'm sure that Soldier and Omen and everybody else in the locker room will welcome you with open arms than you were expecting.
Period.
And obviously, the owner of the IMF, his first name starts with a G and ends with a P. He obviously felt that it was okay to sign you then.
Oh, 100%. He knows. The owner of IMF knows that no matter what happens, personal's personal, business is business, and
And
I'm a
you think that
businessman. That's
and he's also a good man, right? The owner of the IMF, and that owner,
100%.
he took a chance on you, right? Got to give him a lot of credit there, right? He wasn't worried about what
100%.
people think. He wasn't worried about what they say in Shelbyville. He wasn't worried about what they say and where you just left off. He wasn't worried about where you were in Lafayette or anywhere else you've been.
Nope.
Not worried about what they say about you in Maryland. He's not worried about what they've said about you and any other place, Illinois, you've been to. Just he wants to go out there because he knows you can wrestle, and you are one of the best wrestlers out there in our circuit. And I think I've always said it. The most controversial thing is you don't get enough credit for your wrestling ability and what you've done out there. And I think we're going to get a chance to see that this Saturday against Isaiah Rage and Sean Jovi for the United States Championship. And I would definitely be excited to see that. And I think we're
100%.
going to have a lot of coverage for that Thursday. I want to say hello to the legendary Abraham Storm from CSW in North Carolina. He's in the house Thursday afternoon, the following Thursday. He definitely wants to say hello. And I do have a good question from Zilla. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Zilla has actually a good question. Yes, we say hello to Miranda Turner. Hello, thank you for tuning in, and hit the sub button for it because I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subs. But I take it that it's probably an anti-Anthony comment, so maybe not. But thank you anyway. I appreciate anybody tuned in. Okay, Anthony, I hope you're okay. Anthony, I hope you're all right. Are you alive, Anthony? Are you okay?
I'm fucking great. I'm great. Ox.
Now, I have this question from Zilla to put up. I hope you're alive, Anthony. I hope you're alive. But if I want to become a backyard wrestler, this is who Zilla's dream opponents are. Atomic Titan, D'Angelo the Flame, and Anthony Steele. What do you think? Zilla, one of her dream opponents is to wrestle you. Maybe she wants to be a wrestler. What would you give as advice for Zilla to go and maybe start her legendary career?
Train. That's what I tell everybody that that wants to get in the wrestling business. If it's a dream of yours, go out, chase it, do what you got to do to achieve it. And if one of your dream opponents is me, cool. I'm 100% okay with that. Maybe it could happen, maybe not. But number one thing is make sure this is what you actually want to do. And if that is really what you want to do, find your wherever you are, find a local training facility.
She's in
Get some
Georgia.
training in.
She's in Georgia.
Oh, well, there's a lot of places in Georgia
But you
to do
wouldn't
training with.
recommend Xavier Thorne's new promotion, the Real Wrestling League. It's
No,
actually supposed to be really big.
no.
They wrestle on the playground, by the way. And I think he's in the Nexus now, by the way. He's a Nexus member. Let's move on. He's choking on his own vomit. I'll be ready. D'Angelo will be honored to face Zilla. We love Zilla on Sportswire. Zilla should really take over this platform. I really want Zilla to be the person to take over for me. Yes, Anthony.
So
yes.
Ox.
Yes.
Can we pull up his comment?
What's
thank you so very much. Dude, I needed that laugh. I really did. That's funny as hell.
I think that we'll move on, right?
That
we'll run it.
That's fine.
But I gotta show you what, you know what? Since we have a big crowd tonight, we actually do have a big crowd with this. I gotta show you what Ox designed for us on Sportswire. Before we do that here, let's put that IMF link up here one more time for us on Sportswire, because we got to make sure we support our friends in the IMF. We have been so blessed to have their support over the years. It's a platform, after all, that the likes of Soldier GP, Anthony Steele, and who else has been the IMF over the years has helped us build. I mean, even Dirty Donnie's helped us build it. Ox McCoy's helped us build it. Omen Black, it's his platform after all. I mean, anybody else in the IMF, they've all helped build this platform for us. And, you know, we want to make sure we support the IMF. And I can't believe why it can't come up. Now it's going to come up. Okay, there we go. Thank you for that. So this is what I want to show you, Anthony. Ox is such a handyman. He actually knows how to do design work. And look at what he designed for us here. How about this logo, ladies and gentlemen? Give it up for Ox McCoy. Not only is he bound in blood, but that logo there. That logo is really cool. How about that logo there? Not only does he beat people up and put them in, body bags, he creates logo work there, Anthony. That's definitely a great logo.
Keep doing what you're doing, boss.
We love Ox McCoy.
I'll fuck with it.
We love it. Yeah, we do, but we don't love you, the Flame. Well, that's a funny one there. Okay, you know what? I realize we've got a little bit more time with you, but there is one more topic I want to talk about. Obviously, we know the news. You're in the IMF. You signed the contract. You're wrestling Sean Jovi and Isaiah Rage, but you mentioned the Backyard Havoc, November 9th to November 10th, and you obviously invited yourself. You're going to be there in Bremen, Ohio. You obviously know how to get there. It's a lot closer for you now that you're in Illinois, but so what are you expecting to do in the Backyard Havoc? What is your expectations in the Backyard Havoc? This is obviously a different show than Summer Bash. It's the first fall show that we've seen, kind of one of these super shows. And what's your expectations and what you're going to do here in the Backyard Havoc?
My expectation is to do what I do everywhere else, and that is fight. I love a good fight. And lately, I haven't really got a person that's given me a good fight. D'Angelo Flame, which is why I'm hoping to run it back with him, is at Summer Bash. We didn't really have a fight. We had a square off, I call it. We were both tired, multiple matches already under our belts for that weekend, and that's why I want that rematch between me and D'Angelo Flame, where there's no outside interference. It's me and him 100% healthy, facing off against each other, because I know he'll bring me a fight. That's what I'm looking forward to at Backyard Havoc, is a fight. Someone to give me a challenge, someone to bring everything that I bring to the table plus more.
Right.
So let's hope that happens. Whoever my opponent is for that night, Let's go with the names that are
there. So let's go with the names that are there. I know you mentioned Rad Dad, but that's a whole nother keg of worms, and it's really unknown. I mean, Rad Dad, obviously, I'm sure people can figure out. There's been talks, I'm sure, among different people that are running the event, but that'll sort itself out. If it's there and he's presented as an opponent, you better believe I'll ask you about that. Should he actually be in the Backyard Havoc? There's a lot of hula hoops there. He's at his own super show next weekend, GBYWN, BYW Link. That's the kind of the precursor to what we have now in the All Wrestling Matters movement. I don't know enough about your familiarity with the Global Backyard Wrestling News Network, so I'll leave that for a different conversation. But of the names that are announced in Backyard Havoc, are there names that interest you about being a potential opponent?
I don't know who all's quote unquote participating
Jacob Collins?
in Backyard Havoc.
Jacob Collins? Big Man Cam?
I mean,
Darkron?
I'd love to square off.
Big Man
100 fucking percent.
Cam?
100%. Me versus Darkron. Darkron. I want Darkron. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Jason Storm,
whoever it is, make it.
Your brother in the Sinners. You got JX is supposed to be there, the matchmaker JX. I mean, are those names that say? I know they're brothers of yours in the Sinners, but are there names that would be interesting you possibly?
Let's see who from the Sinners is going.
JX, Jason Storm.
I think me versus JX would be fire.
JX is a guy like you, another guy who's been a traveler. He's a veteran. I mean, he's been around the game. He had the XCW run. Yes, he's the matchmaker. Yes, he's got a lot of history. Justin Parsley, I believe, is going to be there, as far as I understand. But you and him are brothers. That's obviously a different conversation for a different time. I mean,
if we're going to be in a match together, we're teaming with each other.
Tag teaming, yes. I mean, that's the case. I mean, a lot of the new, there's Matthew Forsaken, there's Joe Stone, and Joe Stone. I mean, I know you know those guys. I mean, there's some newer guys that are going to be there. You probably don't know yet. Trey Mysticality, Holden Holloway, recent guys added to XCW, ALW. I believe you'll see some IMF brothers of yours and enemies of yours there. There's obviously some talk, some other names, but anybody interest you? I mean, I mentioned Aaron Blaze. I mean, I asked about Aaron Blaze wrestling you at the Backyard Havoc, but you were like, no, you don't want him at Backyard Havoc. I mean, I asked when Aaron Blaze was here last week, I asked him about you wrestling him in the Backyard Havoc, but you say no. You wanted him in Summer Bash next year.
It needs to be bigger. Needs to be bigger.
But Backyard Havoc's the first fall super show possibly in history, at least in recent memory. You don't think that would be big? That could be the main event of the entire show. But that could be the main event of the show.
Could be.
What about you and Omen Black potential? You and Omen Black?
100%.
That would be a name people.
Dude, I would 100% run it back with Omen. Now, if Omen wants to run it back with me, that's a different story.
Well, that's up to him. That's the decision that he'd have to make. I mean, I couldn't speak on behalf of anybody, but a lot of big names that are announced. I think that you could certainly have some great matches. I think Rad Dad, that's up to Rad. I don't know enough on if Rad Dad is really coming to the Backyard Havoc. You mentioned him. I don't know. It would be, he's a professional wrestler. I don't know enough to make that judgment call. I mean, I could say I could say what you want Ledger at the Backyard Havoc, but you won't get that. I don't know about that one.
If I had to choose one person that is guaranteed to go, would probably be Kron.
Well,
I think me and him stepping in the ring together.
What about Forsaken? Forsaken would be a good one. That'd be a fun match. And did you see Kron and Forsaken just wrestle Jack Delta?
Congratulations. That's not me.
They could wrestle you. That'd be interesting.
I mean,
how about Joe Stone? Joe Stone be interesting. You and Joe Stone.
Yeah.
But you want Rad Dad.
I've said it since Summer Bash.
But you want Rad Dad, though. But we don't know about Rad Dad yet. Maybe in 2 weeks we could have a different conversation.
100% want Rad Dad.
Okay.
100%. I think it'd be a good time for me to actually shine.
You wrestled in the Indies. It's an indie wrestler versus an indie wrestler. Technically, that does, have a point to be made with that. I mean, I think that's interesting. I don't know, though. Again, that's a whole different conversation. I mean, Rad Dad's like Ledger. That's up to them. They're just, you have to respect the process. If they want to be there, it's up to them. But I mean, Ledger's, as far as I understand, he's not wrestling. He's here to talk about the movie. He's here promoting the movie. But I mean, Do you feel Ledger should come back to the ring, though? I mean, I should ask you. Do you feel he should come back to the ring?
100%. Yes. 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 1,000 times
Do
yes.
you
I've
feel
said it
that the
multiple
fans
times.
were you surprised at how the fans really responded to him when he was here on Sports Bar? I mean, that was really historic. I think that was maybe. I mean, you've been here. You've had some epic interviews, but I mean, he generally had people that they would love. People would say, told me off there they were in tears for Ledger. That's what he meant to people. Were you surprised about that? How much he meant to people?
See, knowing Ledger like personally, it was I've always had his back. I've always been a fan of Ledger, and I've always sat here and grasped the reality that Ledger is a top guy.
Unbelievable
And
draw what
that's
he did. Unbelievable.
and when he showed up on Sportswire Radio, I've heard some people be like, "Well, I'm not going to tune in." And I looked at them all. I was like, "Dude, you want to tune in?
I mean, that
You know,
was
you
one.
want to."
I mean, literally, I had people messaging me for 2 days. Is he really going to be here? And I said it all the time. I didn't know till the minute he was going to be here. He is a different animal. I mean, Jack Delta's been here a lot, but even Ledger's different because he was here just once. He's never done an interview in his career. Guys like you and Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, for example, James Taylor, you guys do interviews all the time, Instagram lives. You come here on Sportswire. Ledger's different. Ledger is a guy that doesn't do this kind of stuff. So to get him here, I mean, people are still talking about that appearance. I know you've done so much for Sportswire. Omen and Soldier have done a lot for Sportswire. Jack Delta's endorsement right after you. Aaron Blaze, WCE, Sean Jovi, and Craven Rage. I mentioned James Taylor. There's a lot of people that have done a lot for this platform. But Ledger, to me, his endorsement really put Sportswire where every night you had to tune in. Every night now, you have to tune into Sportswire. Even for the Make-A-Wish shows, as you claim they were, people still tune in for them. There are people that tune in for them. People will want to tune into people now because you just never know who's going to be on Sportswire. And Ledger did that. I don't know before Ledger came onto this platform that was the case. Sometimes you'd be on here, 4 people, 3 people on a live right now at this time. Now, we really are prime time. Yes, you helped build it. Omen and Soldier, James Taylor, Sean Jovi, yes, Craven Rage, Atomic Titan, no question, Joshua Allen. There's certain people that you've expected. Jack Delta, we just mentioned Aaron Blaze lately. But I think Ledger, that's why I'm so excited to see him back on Sportswire, because I really believe his appearance, his endorsement of this platform really put the wheels in motion that you have to tune into Sportswire every night.
100%. And see, a lot of people go based off hearsay of what they think about wrestlers. Like some people go off hearsay about me. Like they don't watch me, and particularly they don't sit here and want to watch Anthony Steele. They listen to what other people have to say about Anthony Steele, and I look at it as, they do the same thing with Ledger. Is some people hate Ledger and they listen to him, and they just look at it as, oh well, I've heard he was a bad guy behind the scenes. I've heard that he was selfish, all that. Working with Ledger, and that's the best thing that me and the IMF board sat down and had to talk with is, what people say about other talent is way different than experiencing it for yourself. And like that's the biggest thing about me and IMF working together is they've experienced what I've done personally, whether it is Summer Bash.
Credit to the owner of the IMF
Yeah.
for seeing what you are as a talent inside the ring and not listening to what other people say or other promoters, but bringing you in because they know what you bring to the table. That's why I'm so excited about you in the IMF. I'm certainly so excited about Ledger coming back to Sportswire. I mean, I can't wait. And I can't wait for the IMF to be back on Thursday night where you're going to be here with us, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, where the IMF goes into the Hall of Fame, a Hall of Fame that they helped build, a Hall of Fame that you helped build. And that's what was so excited about the IMF back on Sportswire, Thursday Night Ring of Champions. And I think I'm showing my appreciation by donating 3 tickets, putting the IMF in the Hall of Fame. And I want everybody here right now to tune in and join me. We're going to go through the card. We're going to go through the card until my voice holds up. And I'm so excited. And if you're here right now on Sportswire, go hit the sub button for me. I am almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I want to get there because I want Anthony Steele to roast me on Sportswire. But my buddy Abraham Storm, the thunderous Abraham Storm, says he's been a fan of Steele since the NGJPW days, and he wouldn't mind one day if it continued and he could wrestle Anthony Steele one day. Everybody loves Anthony Steele. Like everybody loves Ledger. Everybody loves Ledger. Everybody loves Anthony Steele. God bless Anthony Steele. God bless Ledger Shade. God bless the IMF. God bless Jack Delta. God bless James Taylor. God bless Judas, Sean Joe, even for you, because I can't wait. This is a celebration week. Anthony Steele, before we move on to final things, they talk about backyard wrestling. It's all toxic. Oh, no, this is celebration week on Sportswire. We are celebrating. We are celebrating the people that have helped build this platform. We are celebrating the people that have made this a movement, that have made this a community, that have helped us get to the Summer Bash events, that have helped us get to Backyard Havoc, to Riot in the Ring, All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament, Best in the Yard, all these super shows, Best in the Yard. We mentioned that, but how about Devil's Playground? That's going to be for what we see, the Backyard Brawl, WC and STBW, all these great shows. All these great shows. That's why we're celebrating Celebration Week. Anthony Steele has kicked that off for us as he's now going to be a 4-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. He's back in the IMF. He's going to be wrestling Sean Jovi and Isaiah Rage, Ring of Champions. And I'm donating 3 tickets for 3 lucky people, 3 members of your family, whoever else it might be, to watch Anthony Steele's long-awaited return to the ring for the first time in 2 months and back home in the IMF, a company that he helped build all those months ago. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better. Somebody wake me up. Is this really real? Is it really? Well, yeah, it is real because Anthony Steele is the real deal, and he's back on a platform that he helped build, a platform that he is always going to be a part of. We're going to induct him more times into the Hall of Fame. Fine. You know what, Anthony Steele? I'm even going to go further because, this is Celebration Week, right? And I got one more thing I want to share with you, Anthony. You know what, Anthony Steele? You've been so generous. You've had that Mamba mentality all night on Sportswire. You've been that new haircut, Clark Kent look. I'll tell you what, Anthony Steele, I'm going to be a very generous man because I think that there is no person in the backyard wrestling circuit that is more generous than yours truly. And I'll tell you what, you tell me, you find me somebody that's more generous than me, I'll give you a bridge to sell because I could probably buy that bridge off you. I bet you I'll pull my bank account up live on Sportswire and you'll say, yeah, okay, you could do that. I tell you what, Anthony Steele, this coming Saturday, you win your match, your first match back in the IMF, and you claim that United States Championship from Sean Jovi, America's resident rock star. I'll put you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for a 5th time.
Bet. They're like,
you didn't
Jovi.
see that one coming late. That was a pipe bomb. Boy, they felt that one all over the place.
Jovi, you don't know what you just got yourself into. Yeah. Hey, look. Whether it's Isaiah Rage or whether it's Sean Jovi, one of y'all two is about to make me a 5-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer.
And think about this. I mean, you'd be joining an elite category alongside your brother, Justin Parsley.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Think about it, the second 5-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. The second one. Rarefied air.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna make sure it happens now. I'm gonna make sure. If I wasn't motivated then, I'm motivated now.
Boy, that's sending shockwaves
I'm well
right now.
motivated.
That is sending shockwaves right now in promotions right now. It's sending shockwaves.
Hey, look, haters gonna hate, but you can hate while you watch me. That's all I want to say. You can hate while you watch.
And Sean Jovi, listen, he's here Tuesday night. I'm going to ask him about that. He's here Tuesday night on Sportswire. He's here. He's obviously here for a special reason to induct Tim Mecca, God rest his soul, into the Hall of Fame. And he's going to be dealing with those kids from Kewanee, Illinois, who we don't live far from. They're, I'm sure, are going to be watching certainly closely with that. But I'm going to ask Mr. Jovi about that. You better believe it. I'm going to definitely ask him about that. But I mean, that's going to certainly get a lot of people, I think, to tune in Saturday and tune in Tuesday night and Thursday, because you're back with us. Are you here Thursday night with us once again?
100%. I will be here on the bright lights of Sportswire Radio.
You helped build a platform. You helped build. And you know what? I want to go one more fold. I want to go one more fold on the 5th induction of the Hall of Fame. Should you win, as we're getting ready to close the show, should you win next Saturday, Ring of Champions, I want the legendary James Taylor to be there for the induction ceremony. Would that be allowed? Would that be granted?
You know, I don't want James just to be there. I want James to personally, in his own words, induct me.
Well, I don't know if he'll do that. He's a busy man with RWW, but I certainly want him to be there on the live while we're certainly inducting you for the 5th time. I think that's, yeah, and James, if the news is Anthony Steele has now returned to the IMF. He is wrestling now Sean Jovi and Isaiah Rage for the United States Championship. And if Anthony Steele wins this Saturday at Ring of Champions, Anthony Steele will be inducted into the Hall of Fame for a 5th time, because this Thursday he's being inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for a 4th time, because the IMF is going in as a whole into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I don't want you to induct Anthony Steele, but I want you to sit there with us to obviously see Anthony be inducted. Actually, should he win? Should he win, though?
Actually, you know what? I got a Hiroshima for you. If I win, no, scratch that. When I win on September 28th.
Yes.
When I know it, I believe in myself that I know it.
It's a 33% chance only.
A 33% chance doesn't make a difference. There's a 100% chance that Anthony Steele's walking out as the IMF United States champion. But when I win, when I pick up that victory, when I hold that gold high in the air, hey Jovi, since you are the former champion in that circumstance, maybe you should induct me.
Well, he can sit.
Maybe you should hop on.
I will induct you, but he can sit there with us on the live. But I mean, I can ask Mr. Jovi that question Tuesday. Obviously, he's tuned out of the show. I think he's maybe getting ready for Tuesday. Maybe he's getting ready early, but I can ask Mr. Jovi that question Tuesday night for sure. I can ask him his opinion on that.
Go ahead.
I'll ask him. Okay, I'll ask him that question. So, and that's to recap one more time for everybody, that it is Anthony Steele is officially now back in the IMF. He is going to be wrestling this Saturday, Ring of Champions, his return to the ring for the first time in 2 months. He'll be wrestling Sean Jovi, the United States champion, America's resident rock star, and Isaiah Rage. Anthony is also a member of the Sinners, and he is also going to be here Thursday night as the IMF is inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for a 4th time. And Anthony Steele will be a part of that ceremony, that historic moment of a platform he helped build alongside the rest of the IMF and James Taylor and so many else here. And also, Zilla actually says that maybe she would induct Anthony Steele in the Hall of Fame. Would you want Zilla to induct you in the Hall of Fame? The one and only legendary Zilla, the resident chatter. Would you? Well, I mean, what about Zilla? That will blow the roof.
I got one question. Hey, Zilla, would you hop on Sportswire Radio to do that?
We asked her on Friday's show to do that, and she said she would have to think about it. We asked her about Jack Delta to come on and say hello to Jack Delta, and she said she would have to think about it. But, you know,
well, I'm asking right now. Would you, when that transpires, would you hop on Sportswire Radio?
That's a question that Zilla, I'm sure, before we sign off, can give us an answer on. And we can make that date October 10th, right? Because the next IMF show isn't until the following week, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? I believe. So we can do that on October 10th. We have nobody booked that day on Sportswire. We can certainly make that the date that we have that happen. It's a Thursday. So we can make that out on the 10th of October, and that could be your moment should you win. Should you win that United States Championship, you go into the Hall of Fame for a fifth time. You can run it back on Sportswire for a fifth time. You can run, run, run. We'll have to see, but we'll have Zilla answer that question in a minute. And Abraham Storm is here. Well, thank you for that. Okay, we'll let Zilla answer, but is there anything else you want to share before we sign off on your historic and what could be triumphant return to Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for fourth and fifth time? But is there anything else you want to share before we sign off tonight?
I mean, just for shits and giggles, your boy is about to be 3-0 in fantasy football this year. So,
oh, really? Congratulations! You keep winning.
Let's get that. Let me win 2 years in a row. Last year I won fantasy football, and this year it looks like I'm on my way to a second victory. So let's get this shit rolling. But
Zilla said maybe. Said maybe. We'll find out. Okay, that's okay. Zilla, thank you for being honest.
Zilla, you got my Instagram. You can always, you always hit me up. I can give you the link.
Well, she can do that on. I will be October 10th. We'll do that 9:00 Eastern time. Should you win next Saturday? We still have to say this, it's not 100% guarantee. You say it's 100%, but it's still not 100%. But we hope you do well on fantasy football. And we've got some great shows ahead before we sign off. Judas is here tomorrow night. He's here at, I believe, 10:30, 10 or 10:30, but he'll be here tomorrow night. Judas is here. That's going to be a big crowd. Judas always gets people fired up, especially Darkrom. We've got Sean Jovi, 8:00 Eastern time, special early time, 8:00 Eastern time, Tuesday. We've got Thursday, IMF takeover on Sportswire to get us ready for Ring of Champions. Historic night. IMF goes into the Hall of Fame, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And Friday, we continue to celebrate Celebration Week. It's going to be 10:00 Eastern time. You better run back to Sportswire. The legendary Ledger Shade, the Hulk Hogan of the backyard wrestling circuit. Mr. Anniversary. Mr. Ledger is back where he belongs. We're going to watch the Ledger anthology with him. We're going to watch all 18 chapters. He's going to talk about each one by one. You can be here with us. Join the celebration, 10:00 Eastern time on Prime Time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. The platform at the IMF, Anthony Steele, Sean Jovi, Judas, and even Ledger Shade definitely built. But okay, great stuff there. Ox loves the graphic. I wonder why. Wink and a nod. But I think, Anthony, we've definitely ran the gauntlet. It has been a memorable return back to Sportswire. It is definitely good to have you back. You're going to be here a number of times coming up. We'll see if it's more than anticipated. But I do pass the baton to you now. Give you some final thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say on this historic return to Sportswire Radio, kicking off Celebration Week, and also celebrating the news of your match coming up for the U.S. title, IMF Hall of Fame, me donating 3 tickets, and potentially you having another ceremony on October 10th, 9:00 Eastern time. The floor is yours, my friend. Fire away.
I'll say it's going to be an honor to be inducted for a time. There's where my ego's going to kick in. I'm here. I'm going to make that happen. There's not an if, and, or a but about it. It's the Mamba mentality in me, And Jovi, Rage, let's go out there, put on an instant classic. But just know, the outcome will forever not be in your favor. And to the IMF, I want to thank y'all again for this opportunity to come in and not only promote your company, but be a part of it, and be able to call IMF my home. And I just want to say to all the talent, let me do some out of character shit.
Sure, absolutely.
To all the talent,
IMF, while we're here.
To all the talent in IMF, let's put on one hell of a show on September 28th in Palo, Iowa, and let's show this world what underground wrestling really is about, and let's move forward with the underground wrestling movement to show that just because some of us have a dream, and let's make it all a reality. That's what we're here to do, is to show the world that this is what we love to do. This is what we were born to do. And Dirty, thank you again for the contracts. I'm sorry I had to crumple a couple of them up, but one is signed. For those that weren't here that didn't get to see it, it is signed, sealed, delivered for the United States Championship match. I am the mystery man for that match, and again, thank y'all so very much for tuning in to Sportswire Radio. Thank you for all the views that we had
What a big
tonight.
turnout. Boy, people were like waiting for this. I think they got Friday with the ROBW guys, which was big, but they were really, people were waiting for this one. I think that one and this one here were really shows all week people were waiting for. We got Aaron. Aaron was here. He had a big turnout. Aaron and Jovi, by the way, had big turnouts last week, but throughout the week on Sportswire, they were waiting for one of these, and they got it. They got you back. They got Jack Delta for 2.5 hours with the ROBW roster, and obviously a lot of crossover from IMF there. So they got it. You're getting that almost all week on Sportswire. Judas is here tomorrow. You got Jovi on Tuesday. You're back Thursday. And Ledger Shade is back on Friday. I mean, I still can't believe that. I mean, just an unbelievable week ahead on Sportswire. This could be the greatest week in Sportswire radio history. And you're kicking it off. This could be the greatest week ahead in the history by almost 6 years of doing this. I mean, this is definitely coming back with a force. That's for sure.
100%. And thank you for letting me be a part of that. Thank you for letting me be on here tonight to share this news. Again, I want to give a shout out to my boy Lil White. For those that want to go check him out, that's
we love Little White on Sportswire.
Let's it's LILWYTE. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Music, and any other platform that you want to search your music up on. I mean, if you don't mind, Tom, you want to look up the theme song, give everyone a sneak peek.
Yeah. Are we on YouTube? Oh, do we on YouTube? What's his name again? Remind me, spell it for
me. Lil White, LIL space WYTE, and the song is "They Don't Want No Smoke."
Is it on Instagram?
What, the song?
Is he on Instagram?
Yes, he's on Instagram. It's Mr. White. We figured out that it is hard to find this dude, but I will send over his Instagram to you real quick.
Please send the Instagram. That's the way I'll be able to find it, because I can't find. I have a lot of followers on Instagram, and I can't find him.
I did get him to follow me on Instagram, so that was awesome.
Just send me his Instagram, and we'll give a choice to it. Yeah, send me the Instagram, and we'll play it. We'll go off the air with it. There you go. Thank you.
Well, the song isn't on his Instagram, but that is his Instagram.
Get the link on there. Okay, so give me about 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give you a little bit of taste of this Little White music, and definitely he's got 231,000 followers. Wow. Okay, we'll definitely hit him up there. Okay, I'll give him a follow. Now I got to find him on YouTube. Well, where am I finding him on YouTube? Okay, let's go here. Little White. Okay, I think I could find him. Let me try this now. Little White. I think he gave me the wrong spelling on YouTube. Okay, there we go. Little White. I got him on YouTube. What is the song that he's allowing you to play?
Yeah, I'm sending you the link. Sending you the link right now.
Because I'm on YouTube. I could just hit the sub button for him. Okay, thank you. We'll play that here. Okay, world premiere, Anthony Steele music. And okay, 1 second. I'm going to put this pause. I'm going to go like this. Hit the sub button for him. Yeah, this guy's making a living. He's got 100. He's probably got more in the bank than me. Well, maybe not actually, but well, probably not. That's okay. He's got more fans than me, though. Let's say that. Okay, here we go. We're gonna play the brand new music, world premiere. very soon there. And that's the new music from Anthony Steele. You're going to get a chance to see that coming up here, Ring of Champions. We'll certainly figure that out. I'm sure Jovi's got a lot to think about and process. Anthony, definitely looking forward to you banging out to that. That's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger as well this Saturday. Congratulations on your return. Looking forward to seeing you back here Thursday. Mr. Jovi will certainly be on the spot Tuesday as well here with some of the things you said. And we'll see if you're going to have a ceremony coming up additional to Thursday's one. And looking forward to seeing you back on Sportswire. Congratulations on being in the IMF full time. And we'll see what happens and everything else unfolds with you. And congratulations again, once again, being back on a platform you helped build, Sportswire Radio.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And again, guys, thank you for letting me be on here. Thank you for tuning in and listening to what I have to say, listening to the Reverend Tom Bryce yet again, the voice of all wrestling matters. And that is what I'm here to prove, is all wrestling matters, especially when it comes to the real deal, Anthony Steele, because without wrestling, y'all want to know me, I want to know y'all. But stay tuned, September 28th, Palo, Iowa, Ring of Champions. It will be Sean Jovi defending the IMF United States Championship against Isaiah Rage and the real deal Anthony fucking Steele.
That's where you have it. That's why he's obviously on his way to bigger and better things. And who knows, maybe he'll take over the platform. You never know. But until then, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, tune in tomorrow night, sometime between 10 and 10:30 with Judas. The Evil Angel will be here, and he'll have a lot to say about some of the things Anthony Steele said. He's on Team Steele, that's for sure. He wants to live in the Steele era. But until then, thank you so much. Hit the sub button for the IMF. Also hit the sub button for me on Sportswire Radio. I'm almost there. Have your friends tell their friends and their friends. Get me to 1,000 subscribers. I feel like I'm on Cody Rhodes' journey to win the title. It's been too long already. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Or on the number one, Global Radio Station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters.